The AFC East, here's how they stand. The Patriots with 3 wins in their last 4 games, right back in it. Miami with a tough one today. They play at Seattle. The Jets have won today. And in the AFC West, the Denver Broncos with 2 straight losses in the division for the first time in 6 years. Now at 500, trailing the Raiders and 2 other clubs. But the Broncos last year, their fans well remember, were 4-4 at one point, then won 8 of their last 9. And they were right on into the playoffs again. As we look at Bill Belichick in his 2nd season as the New England Patriots head coach, talked to Bill, who coached here for a year with the Broncos earlier in his career. He will make a lot, Steve, out of the, there's his counterpart, Mike Shanahan, about the elevation. Belichick says, hey, it's cold in Buffalo and Green Bay. It's hot in Miami. It's high here. It doesn't make any difference.
That's a psych job, John. It won't affect these players today.
Broncos kick off as the Patriots, Kevin Falk takes it at the 3-yard line. Breaks it across the 18 and a hard jarring hit head high on Kevin Falk, and he is taken down inside the 20 as Tom Brady, in his 2nd year from Michigan, 6th round draft choice, 2000 draft, comes out. His numbers, the big one, no interceptions. He's been mistake-free, says his coach, even in practice. He's been mistake-free.
And when a backup quarterback comes into play for a team, they really rally around him, and they really needed something at the point in which Brady came in, and they have really snowballed on. They are playing very inspired football.
Brady very confident, comes in with a quarterback rating of almost 93. At least the Broncos survived the opening kickoff. Last week at San Diego, the opening kickoff was run back against them for a touchdown. They were out of the game early. Antoine Smith tries to run, and he gets a load of Bill Romanowski and Al Wilson. We look at the offensive front for Tom Brady. The New England Patriots offensive line coming together with the rookie Light, Compton, Woody, and Druzzi, and Robinson Randall across the front. Antoine Smith, the prime runner. Mark Edwards, the fullback. Troy Brown, leading receiver in the AFC, starting the day. David Katz with 4 touchdowns, a hand in all 4 last week. And the tight end is Rod Rutledge. Open backfield now as the Patriots look to throw off a quick drop. Near side throw, and a big rush is put on as Brady is knocked down and is a penalty marker down. We could have a roughing the passer. Or maybe a hold.
It came very late. It might be a hold. It's going to be roughing the passer. Not something you want to start a game with, Don. Last week, the Broncos gave up a kickoff return for a touchdown. A penalty can put you in just as big a hole.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 95 defense.
Kavika Pittman is called for the personal foul, so Mike Shanahan sees an incomplete pass, instead resulting in a first down for the Patriots.
Well, that's one thing you do. Is a young quarterback back there, Tom Brady, went right to the head, and that's kind of a message, Don. Well, let's face it. They want to get inside the young quarterback's mind. They want to make sure he knows it's not going to be a day in the park like it was in Indianapolis a week ago.
Brian Griese and Brady, with high regard for each other, they competed for the starting job at Michigan. Griese quarterbacking the team that shared the national championship in '97. Michigan and Nebraska, co-national champs. Brady a backup. Brady went on to be Big Ten MVP. Here is a handoff now as the ball is given to Antoine Smith, and there's not a whole lot there as the Broncos, who've been having some problems stopping the run, shut it down early. Washington, McLaughlin, Price, and Pittman across the defensive front. Mobley, Wilson, and the veteran Bill Romanowski, the linebacker.
Those are 3 excellent linebackers. They can run, cover, and they can punish on a tackle.
Patriots are very concerned about Delta O'Neal, who had 4 interceptions in 1 game this season. Belichick says you throw it to his side, it could be coming back at you. On a 2nd down throw, a good pitch over the middle goes to Troy Brown. And Brown, with his 40th catch of the year, is taken down by Delta O'Neal. It brings up 3rd down.
See Troy Brown. A lot of people kind of raised their eyebrows last week when David Patton had a hand in 4 touchdowns. But this is the guy. Troy Brown is the guy the defenses worry about. He's a good receiver, a quality playmaker, and the emergence of David Patton is only going to make his life easier.
Patton has certainly emerged last week with that phenomenal game. 2 touchdown receptions, ran for 1, threw for 1 against the Colts. Here's Brady. Near side throw, nicely done to Mark Edwards, and the fullback takes it in. And Edwards on a 3rd down and long 2 play gets it out to the 49-yard line. A gain on the play of about 6 yards and a 1st down.
Well, this is what the Patriots would love to do on offense. Get the ball out of Brady's hands, make some 1st downs, and keep Brian Griese and the Denver offense off the football field. The best way to take a crowd out of a game on the road is to just hang on to the football.
Patriots have a measure of confidence here, Steve. As you know, last year they won here at Denver, ending an 11-game losing streak in the Mile High City. Here's a throw. What a beautifully thrown ball and catch, as again Troy Brown comes down with the ball, and Brown now gets the ball inside the 45-yard line.
That was a good throw and a good catch. As you see Troy Brown come across the middle, you'll watch and you'll notice, look where his shadow is and look where the ball comes right out of the sun, and he plucks it out of the air with a guy right on his back. Good coverage by Eric Brown, but that's a great throw and catch, tough to defend.
Brown with after the San Diego game, when the Patriots rallied from 10 points down to win, 10 points down with 5 minutes to play, he said that Brady wouldn't let any of us believe we could lose the game. Here's a handoff to Brown. Turning upfield, he finds a gap, and Brown is in the open field. Moving on the Bronco defense as he is down now inside the 15-yard line. Going to look like he was caught and stopped. Troy Brown finds a way and gets ahead for a 31-yard gain.
Well, this play looked like it was ill-fated from the start. He'll come in motion. He kind of looks hesitant as he comes across, gets the pass. And right here, the Denver Broncos guys say, we've got him. 3 guys are right there, and then he cuts back against the grain. And you see here, that's the difference. He's just very patient with the football in his hands. Not something you always see with a wide receiver.
Greg Robinson-Randall, the right tackle, with a huge block to spring Troy Brown. So now the Patriots challenging on their opening possession. Brady, deep drop, looks to screen the ball. He does to Antoine Smith, who's taken down from behind by the middle backer, Al Wilson. The real strength of these good Bronco backers is great foot speed. They can run anybody down. But it was plus yardage as the ball is advanced down to about the 9-yard line.
You said it, Don. That was Al Wilson. Al Wilson is a middle linebacker, and usually those are the guys that come up to the line of scrimmage and tackle the running back between the tackles. But these 3 guys, Bill Romanowski, Al Wilson, and John Mobley, they can run, and they're very good veterans. They know what's going on out there.
Well, he ran him down from behind, but it was a 4-yard gain. Brady is now 4 for 4 throwing the ball for 22 yards in this opening drive. Another quick out. This one comes to the near side, and Curtis Jackson, one of the fastest Patriots, is knocked out of bounds at about the 6-yard line, so that will bring up 3rd down, and the Patriots will need 2 yards for the 1st down.
I think it's interesting that since Tom Brady has taken over, Don, you see all the receivers getting involved, especially with the absence of Terry Glenn, who's inactive today. Tom Brady, your backup quarterback, doesn't have that history with the team. He doesn't see his players evolve into his comfort zone. So he comes in and tries everybody, and right now they're all coming through for him.
Yeah, he sees the field. He spreads the ball around. Now the handoff, and Antoine Smith is stopped. No gain, maybe a loss of 2 yards on the play. On 3rd down, they don't get there, so the field goal unit comes out. Adam Vinatieri having another good year for the Patriots. He's hit 10 of 11 field goals. This not much longer than an extra point try.
Well, you see right there, the line of scrimmage is just controlled by the defensive line of the Broncos. Chester McLaughlin just refused to be pushed, and Antoine Smith had nowhere to run that football. They just dominated the point of attack.
25-yard field goal attempt by Vinatieri. It is on the way and on the road. The Patriots take an early 3-0 lead as their quarterback Tom Brady, with a lot of timing patterns, hit 5 of 5 throws for 26 yards in the drive. Bledsoe and Brady talking it over. Bledsoe said, I'm going to do everything I can to help him. Bill Belichick's going to play the best quarterback when I come back, and I intend to be the best quarterback, but they are very good friends. There's no quarterback controversy in New England. Here is Chris Cole running back the kickoff for the Broncos, and he is struck. Still, he breaks the tackle and gets ahead to the 28-yard line. Down there to slow him up, though, was Tabucky Jones. And so the Broncos will go on offense for the first time when we come back.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36. The all-new 200 horsepower Acura RSX Type S. And by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Back to beautiful Invesco Field at Mile High as the Broncos come out on offense, 1st and 10. The Patriots have now scored in 10 of their last 13 possessions with Brady at quarterback. Here's a throw over the middle. The ball is caught. Nicely done by the Broncos as they advance the ball for not a lot. Gain of about 4 yards. Ryan Cox is quickly on the receiver. Carswell, the tight end. Ryan Greasy now in his 4th year for Michigan, a 3rd-round draft choice. These Michigan quarterbacks don't get drafted high, but man, can they play.
They really can. And Brian Greasy really needs some help from the rest of the guys on his team. They need to get a running game going and take some of the pressure off him to produce every single week.
Well, as he said, Steve, everybody's trying to play the perfect game, and you can't do that. We've got to realize there's going to be mistakes, and we have to bounce back from them, not get tight about it. We've got to get the game back to playing and having fun again. As the handoff to Mike Anderson is for a short yardage. There's the offensive front of the Broncos. Teague, Friedman, 4-time Pro Bowler from Boston College, Tom Nalen, Neal, and Lepsis. Nalen, the anchor of the line. Anderson and Hape, the runner and fullback. Smith and Kennison, the wideouts. Carswell at tight end. 3rd down. Greasy and the Broncos needing 4. Near side throw, nicely done, and so was the tackle as the takedown is short of the 1st down marker. Rob Smith catching his league-high 52nd pass, but Ty Law was right on him, so there's no 1st down, and the Broncos have to punt the ball. Defensive front in the 3-4 set of the New England Patriots. Hamilton, Mitchell, and Pleasant. The 4 linebackers, Vrabel, Cox, Johnson, and Pfeiffer. Law and Buckley at the corners. Jones and Malloy the safeties. Now the punt. Kevin Falk is back deep. Ball is hit downfield, and Falk will run it back from his 29. If he can field the ball, he cannot. So not a great day for Falk. The opening kickoff, he was almost taken out of the game with a head-high hit. Now he fumbles this one, but does fall on a 43-yard punt and no return. Back to Invesco Field at Mile High. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. The Patriots scoring on their opening drive as they went 74 yards in 10 plays, resulting in the field goal by Vinatieri. Brady perfect throwing the ball, 5 of 5, 26 yards. He hit 4 different receivers. Standing in again, another throw, another catch. Troy Brown putting moves on it. And Brown breaks it down the sideline, and now a penalty marker's fired in. Could be a face mask as the Broncos try to defend him. We talked to the Broncos yesterday. The guy they were most concerned about, the name they pointed out more than any other, was Troy Brown.
And you saw it on that play, and there's a desperation face mask trying to get their hands on him. And I think the fact that Tom Brady is 6 for 6.
Personal foul. Grasping and twisting the face mask. 24. Defense. 15-yard penalty.
And Brady at this point, at this pass, is 6 for 6 on the day. And you see there's the face mask. It's not that bad. And there's another one. But Tom Brady is just playing so mistake-free, and they're just dinking it down the field. It's a huge confidence boost for this offense. I think Brady is the key to it. I mean, the guy is as cool in the pocket as you can find.
That, Steve, was a 33-yard plus for the New England Patriots. 18 yards on the pass play, 15 more on the penalty. So the Patriots driving again. Brady swings the ball out beautifully, makes the connection, and darting ahead and inside the 30-yard line, down to the 28-yard line, is Kevin Falk out of the backfield.
This offense has really blossomed, and Brady's hit 4 different receivers, actually maybe 5 now. And there you see Drew Bledsoe is in uniform today for the first time since his injury in the Jet game so many weeks ago.
Yeah, he was throwing before the game.
The emergency quarterback today.
The backup will be Damon Heward. Pitch back. Falk on 2nd and short. He breaks into the secondary, and he does get ahead for enough for a 1st down. As Pittman makes the knockdown, but the Patriots continue to move the ball down after down. Is this Brady's Bruns? Well, look what they've done with Tom Brady at quarterback, a 3-1 record, which is really the only number that matters. But the scoring is up so much.
Yeah, and this is it, too. 5 touchdowns. He hasn't thrown an interception coming into the day. He had 134 tries coming into today. Still hasn't thrown an interception and is perfect today. What more can you say about the guy?
When you watch him, he really is a lot like a tall Joe Montana. He has the same look out there. Quick setting up. And he sees the whole field every snap. Which is the mark of great ones beyond accuracy. Spotting the guys coming open. Another penalty.
Prior to the snap, false start, 77, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, Coleman, our referee, and Bill Belichick sees Mike Compton call for the penalty as left guard. Log on to NFL.com and vote for the AFC and NFC All-Star teams to play in this year's Pro Bowl. Vote now at NFL.com or AOL keyword NFL.com.
You know, it seems so simple when you see a good offense work, or at least an offense that's being effective. The quarterback, all he has to do, it seems, is just make the right decision, and Brady has done that for a month.
198 players picked ahead of him in the draft in 2000. Here's the throw. Open man, a connection, touchdown. As the perfect pass play is executed by the Patriots. The touchdown maker, David Patton, in the end zone again. That's 5 touchdowns in less than the last 5 quarters. A 30-yard throw, which is as good a throw as you can make in any level of football.
I'll tell you what,
perfect.
That was an absolute strike. Brady finds Patton behind the defense, watches he trumps back the play action pass, and he looks out to his right, then throws it right down the hash mark. They tackle him right on the goal line, and that is a touchdown. This play was beautifully conceived. They've been running very conservative offense through their first 2 series, and then hit him for the big one when they got down close.
A 30-yard big one, and now looking to extend the lead to 10-0 is Adam Vinatieri out there. David Patton, a wonderful story, a guy who 4 years ago was loading sacks of coffee into trucks down in North Carolina. 600 sacks a day he and his partner would load. But he's living a dream life now, and he's in the end zone again, and the Patriots, underdogs on the road, all of a sudden break out to a 10-0 lead on the perfect play of quarterback Brady. 8 of 8 throwing the ball.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by your neighborhood 7-Eleven store. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. And by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper makes the world taste better.
Tom Brady connecting with Patton for the touchdown from 30 yards out. And there's Brady taking a deep breath, absolutely without emotion after he threw the touchdown throw. Just trotted off the field. Here's Chris Cole fielding the kickoff for the Broncos, 9 yards deep in the end zone. Look at him after he throws the ball here, Steve.
You said it, and it looks like he hasn't started for just 4 or 5 games. It's been 4 or 5 years. He throws a 30-yard strike for a touchdown to open up the second series. Just another day.
As usual, huh? Tom Brady. The remarkable story of Tom Brady continues in his first starting role in the NFL in his second season in the league, playing perfect football.
And everybody around the league is saying, okay, when he's just trying to maintain, trying to keep it going until Drew Bledsoe gets in. Forget it. This guy's going for it, and he's doing it, getting it done.
Now Brian Griese tries to answer. Here comes the rush. Griese on the run. They don't like him to get hit. Here's a guy that's had surgery on his throwing shoulder the past 2 years. He's taken down, run down by Willie McGinnis.
So this is talk about Tom Brady and the Patriots offense. And it's just got so much poison. That's the thing I think that strikes everybody. He's not excited. He's not flustered at all. And look, he's 8 for 8 for 82 yards and a touchdown. And I don't know what Drew Bledsoe thinks he's going to be telling him over there, but whatever it is, it's been good.
Well, I talked to people at Michigan this week about Brady. They said one thing you can count on, there won't be a quarterback controversy that Brady will be involved in. He'll be in a competitive situation. And you can see by the way they behave off the field, they're very good friends. Great fake by Griese now as he waits for someone to come open. He's got an open guy. On the fly is Rod Smith. And he's down the near sideline to the 35-yard line. Lawyer Malloy finally makes the tackle. But the Broncos finally hit the big play here with 4:06 to go in the first quarter. A 47-yard gainer.
Well, when you play the Broncos, it's been this way for the first 6 weeks of the season. Rod Smith is the guy. We spoke to Brian Cox, the linebacker, and said, what about this Denver offense? He says, hey, all you can say is Rod Smith caught 51 balls coming into today. That says it all. He is the go-to guy for the Broncos.
Beautiful play fake, though, by Brian Greasy. Really froze the defenders. And then on a crossing pattern, Rod Smith came free. So now the Broncos mount their first challenge. Mike Anderson, the ex-Marine, slams it down to the 2-yard line. Some remarkable things today at Soldier Field in Chicago. Here's Jim Nantz with more.
Don, a stunning performance by the Bears. They were down 31-16 with 4.5 to play, forced an overtime with a half-minute in regulation, and then the first play from scrimmage in the OT. Mike Brown runs back the interception. Bears win it. They're 5-1. Next week hosting Cleveland in our doubleheader game. Now Bears. Let's go back out to Don and Steve.
The Bears.
Coach Tifko, the guys, cab drivers were telling him this week, he was saying on the pregame show, the Bears are going to the Super Bowl. He said, why not? McGinnis makes the tackle on Mike Anderson. And there was a remarkable ending also in St. Louis. So we go back to Jim Nantz.
All right, guys. Meanwhile, the Saints win with a second to play. Carney's 5th field goal of the day. The Rams, the last of the unbeatens, are defeated, blowing a 24-6 lead in the first half. Let's go back to you.
Dolphins are popping the champagne.
Yes, that's right. And Nick Bonaconte keeps the count every week. He watches every game. Now the offside call, but we'll see if he was drawn up. Greasy with an open play. He throws the ball.
No.
It might go for a touchdown.
No.
Let's see.
There was a whistle that blew early, mistakenly, but it blew early.
Well, the Patriots, in all fairness, I think stopped playing when they heard the whistle.
That's exactly right. This is a completely broken play, not only by the Patriots here, as you see him jump offside on the left side part of your screen, but the officials blew it because when the defense has a penalty, the play should be blown, or is not blown dead.
As Eddie Kinnison gets into the end zone.
So the Broncos think this should be a touchdown, and I think they've got a beef, Don, but there was a whistle that blew mistakenly. Watch.
Prior to the snap, unabated by the defense, unabated to the quarterback, 5-yard penalty, results in a first down.
Well, the crowd doesn't like it, but the simple fact of the matter is that play wouldn't have happened if the whistle wouldn't have blown. Now, the Patriots stopped playing. You see there at the top of your screen, the offsides, and the Patriots just stopped. And that's why the guy was open running down the sideline. That's why the touchdown happened. And that's rightfully why they should mark this penalty off.
So Mike Shanahan with a setback early, but his team's still in good position with a first down, positioned at the 24-yard line of New England. This is the 3rd week in a row the Broncos have found themselves down 10-0. So they've been in a hole. That's been the problem with the streak they're on, losing 2 straight and 3 of their last 4. Anderson. Ted Johnson comes in and makes a hammer tackle. Bill Belichick, when we met with him yesterday, signaling out Ted Johnson as one of the real bright spots of his team this year. Great play. I asked Ted one time, he calls the defensive signals. Is it difficult? What does it mean to you to have that assignment? He said, it means I have a job that the 10 other guys don't want.
That's about right. The Patriots defense, they'll roll through about 15 or 17 guys regularly, both on the front 4 or front 3 there rather, and through the linebacking force. They got a lot of guys that get a lot of time.
2nd and 14 for Brian Greasy and the Broncos. Here comes the rush. Greasy with a beautiful throw. He gets his tight end. Coming with the ball is Desmond Clark. And he is down at about, let's see, we're going to mark the ball. The 1st and goal. Greasy with a great look.
It's a great route by Clark, a tight end down the football field. And if you've got a tight end that can stretch a defense like this for a 20-yard gain out on the sideline, that's huge. That is a huge matchup problem for a defense.
And Steve, neither quarterback missed a throw. Greasy's now 4 for 4 for 74 yards. Brady 8 for 8 for 82 yards. And a touchdown, and now the Broncos answer as up the middle they go with their power back. The ex-Marine Mike Anderson takes it in. And the Broncos have cut the Patriots lead to 10-6 with the extra point coming up. Mike Anderson, once a Marine, always a Marine. He told us yesterday he was stationed in Somalia in his 4 years with the Corps. Now he drives it in a power run into the end zone. The extra point is hit up and good by Jason Elam. And the Broncos are back in the game, down by 3. Denver kicks off when we come back. The Broncos answer on some excellent throws by Greasy to get them in position, and then Mike Anderson hammers it up straight ahead for the touchdown. 7 plays, 80 yards. Took him a minute. Now Kevin Falk is back to anticipate the kickoff of Elam. A short spinning kick. Falk comes up on it from the 5. 20. And Falk drives it out close to the 24-yard line. And there, New England Patriots go on offense again. Tonight on 60 Minutes, did Saddam Hussein have a hand in the terror attack on the United States? Leslie Stahl reports from Saddam's Iraq headquarters. Tonight on 60 Minutes, Leslie in Iraq for that report. Talking to his Prime Minister Tariq Aziz, who denied it. A very, very compelling story tonight on 60 Minutes. First down, Patriots. Brady eludes the rush, makes the throw, another connection, ball on the field. Was it a catch and a fumble? It looks to be. And the Broncos will wait for the official signal. From here, it looked like the Broncos got the ball on the field, if indeed it was a catch and a fumble.
It looked like Antoine Smith had it and dropped it, and now it looked as though a Bronco had it for sure.
Patriots think they have it.
And
so does the official, which is really matters.
Somehow, a Patriot got the ball. And they're going to make it a completion.
Now the Broncos are waving it off like it was incomplete. Coming across is Rod Rutledge, the big tight end. Ball's coming back. They're rolling it an incomplete pass, so it'll come back to the line of scrimmage, which was the 24-yard line.
And it looked like Troy Brown actually reached in there and fought for the ball and got it out of the hands of the Bronco defender. And that's the first incompletion Tom Brady has thrown all day.
And that was a drop. 2nd and 10. That's Patton in motion. Brady on a sprint out. Comes back near side on a draw. The blockers are set, and Kevin Falk makes it ahead and crosses the 30-yard line. Gets to about the 31. That'll bring up 3rd down and about 4 yards for the first down. The tackle by cornerback Denard Walker.
Well, as good as Tom Brady has been playing, you can tell that the offensive play calling by Charlie Weiss has been very conservative. He's thrown one pass over 15 yards down the field, and that was for the touchdown. Everything else has been very methodical, very easy to complete. They want to stay on the football field.
Yeah, a lot of timing patterns. At the end of the first quarter with a score, New England 10, Denver 7. We'll return to Invesco Field at Mile High right after this message. Back to Denver. Temperature in the 70s, clear and sunny, perfect weather as the Patriots now, after opening up with a 10-0 lead, see the Broncos come back. Now 10-7 game. Brady, who's hit 9 of 10 throws. The young quarterback for the Patriots with 3rd down, and he needs 4. He might have got it free as Kavika Pittman left early. We'll see if he was drawn offside.
And Brady says it's going against the Broncos.
So a 3rd and 4 becomes a 1st and...
Prior to the snap, unabated to the quarterback on the defense, number 94. 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
You know, Don, so many coaches talk about the discipline of their football team and so many reasons why. This is it. It's 3rd and 4, and you jump off sides to give your opponent a 1st down for free. That's what kills football teams.
Well, Mike Shanahan said during the week, he said, if you don't move the ball and if you don't stop people from moving on you, you're a mediocre football team. He said, right now, we're a mediocre football team. Expectations are so high here, though, the success this team has had. Here's the end around, and Patton breaks it. and is out to the 49-yard line. So Patton, who ran the reverse last week on the opening play from scrimmage against the Colts for a touchdown, breaks this play now, and he gains on it 13 yards on the play.
This is just David Patton trying to really outrunning the front guys up on the defense. The offensive linemen release out downfield and let those big, heavy defensive linemen go. They can't catch him. Go down and try and block a defensive back. Great play by the Patriots that gave him a touchdown last week.
Other penalty markers in the air.
Timeout. Denver.
Denver calling a
First team
timeout. So a break in the action with the Patriots leading the game 10-7. There is David Patton, who just on a reverse ran for 13 yards. He came off the field, and the trainer and team physician were looking at his wrist. It seemed his left wrist was bothering him. The right one, and he's out throwing the ball just to loosen up. First down and 10. Brady on the rollout. Takes a look. Lets her go. Difficult throw as he goes across the field. That's usually rule number one of things not to do.
That's right. And David Patton sitting on the sidelines, you know, it takes a weapon away from him. You saw him throwing the football on the sidelines. There's Patton. This is the first play from scrimmage last week. David Patton goes in for the touchdown on an end around like we just saw a moment ago here today. And then he catches this. Actually, this is the one he caught. This is the one he throws. We were kidding, Don. I had a day like that once, but it took me 6 months to live it.
Took you 6 months to get those numbers.
That's right.
Well, that was one of the great days in NFL history for a player. Nobody had been part of 4 touchdowns prior to that since the great Walter Payton in '79. Here's a quick throw out to Kevin Falk as they try to isolate him. And he is ahead for plus yards in a 2nd and 10 to the 46-yard line. Gain of 4. Tackled by defensive end Reggie Hayward.
You spoke about Walter Payton and that day he had, and you know that's pretty cool. I mean that's a legend there. Walter Payton is the last guy to do that. It's been a long time, and David Patton did it last week in Indianapolis.
22 years since he did it. David Patton told us yesterday, so I can't believe my name's even mentioned in the same sentence as Walter Payton, but it is. Big down now. 3rd down. Brady needs 5. There's a perfect throw to Troy Brown. Position where only Troy Brown could make a move on the ball. So Brady really triggered in a fastball there. An 11-yard gain when he needed 5. First down, New England.
And Troy Brown was wide open. If Brady puts this up a little bit, he scores. I don't know what somebody did not pay attention to where Troy Brown was lined up, because if Brady sets this up and Brown can keep his feet, there's nobody that's going to touch him.
Brady was a very good baseball player. He was drafted as a catcher by the Montreal Expos. Good team not to sign with. Pitch back. Another reverse. They're going to throw it again. Downfield it goes, and it is picked off down at the 5-yard line. So they gamble and lose. Eric Brown was back there in center field. The free safety, and so the Patriots go to their bag of tricks, this time once too often, going to Charles Johnson.
I agree with you, Don. Tom Brady's the only guy that should be thrown today for the Patriots.
That's right.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Principal Financial Group. We understand what you're working for. 10-10-220 for great long-distance rates anywhere in America and around the world. Dial 10-10-220. And by Cadillac, the fusion of design and technology.
Tom Brady. This time he handed off and saw his wide receiver, David Patton's passing rating drop precipitously, Steve, as he throws an interception to Eric Brown. Now, Brian Griese and the Broncos start from deep in their own end. Anderson, who said to us yesterday, we're going to have to slam it up in there and run the ball all day. Our strength is running the ball. That sets up everything. But Willie McGinnis slams the door on him.
You'll see here, the receiver's going to come back. They're going to run around here and throw it down this direction. But David Patton doesn't really get the instruction as a quarterback that Tom Brady does. You don't throw this ball. You throw it out of bounds. You get rid of it. You throw it where nobody can catch it. You don't throw it up for grabs.
Well, the wrong guy, as far as the Patriots are concerned, grabbed it. Now tough down for the Broncos. Here comes the rush as Greasy throws from his end zone. A beautiful timing throw and an out pattern to Desmond Clark, who was flanked out, a tight end. Coming up on the Nextel halftime report, join Jim, Mike, Randy, and Jerry for all the scores, highlights, and the latest NFL news. A day of remarkable endings in the NFL with probably more to come.
You see there, Desmond Clark out wide. They've got him matched up wide on both safeties. They've had him on Lawyer Malloy and Bucky Jones, and he's won both those matchups.
Romeo Crennel, the defensive coordinator. Greasy on 3rd and short, puts his head down and takes it behind his center, Tom Nalen, and appears to have the first down. Brian Greasy and Tom Brady, good friends. They said they were doing their trash talking Friday night. They had a phone call. They got their last licks in verbally.
That's right. That's right. And it's interesting because the defensive coordinator for the Patriots, Romeo Crennel, knows that Brian Greasy, you know, he has his limitations. Got a sore shoulder, and he's trying to take advantage of everything he can to keep this offense off the field.
Right now, a fake and then a tip ball as Willie McGinnis didn't buy it. And he puts the pressure on quarterback Brian Greasy.
Well, we were talking about Romeo Crennel, and one of the things he's got that no other defensive coordinator in the league does is they run the 4-3 or the 3-4 defense. Nobody else runs in the league, or at least very few teams do. So they can give a different look to every team they play, and every team has to especially train during the week to attack it.
Yeah, Mike Shanahan said the 3-4. Pittsburgh runs a little bit of it also. Really changes the blocking assignments, makes it difficult on the blitz pickups with 4 linebackers. Here's a handoff. Running the ball and running hard and taking it ahead is Orlandis Gary. The other of the good backs that's active, Terrell Davis, will not play today. The former 2,000-yard rusher still bothered by leg problems. Orlandis Gary, a 3rd-year back, another good one.
And that's one of the things the Broncos do have, especially when Terrell Davis is healthy, with Mike Anderson and Orlandis Gary. And that's the one thing that really hasn't helped them as it has in the past, Don. Their run game has kind of been a little spotty this year, and Brian Greasy has really paid the price for it.
No question. They said that's been our problem in this down streak, losing 3 or 4. We've not run the ball like we usually do. Gary this time breaks tackles, and Orlandis Gary gets it out close to the 27-yard line before Brandon Mitchell gets him down.
This is the stable of guys they've got. Terrell Davis in '98 had 2,000 yards, and then the guys behind him both had very solid seasons in relief of Terrell. All 3 of these guys still on the roster. Terrell Davis, kind of a mysterious knee injury that's still nagging him, but the 2 guys that are playing instead are dynamite.
Mike Shanahan said he's not really sure what's bothering Terrell at this point, but he does have pain in the leg, and he can't go. He said he'd be the first guy to get in there if he was able to. On the first down carry, the ball is taken by Mike Anderson. Patriots have run 20 plays in this game. They have 10 first downs. That was the 17th play of the game for the Denver Broncos. They have 6 first downs. Game clock, as you see, down to 9:30 to go. Brian Greasy, as we mentioned, with surgery on his throwing shoulder the last 2 years. Still this year with a quarterback rating, even though he's having a bit of an off season of over 85, which a lot of teams would be very happy with. He has thrown 5 interceptions in the previous 2 games. Here's a quick out and a first down. Rod Smith on a quick hitch, and he's ahead for a first down as Lawyer Malloy finally gets him down. But there's a gain on the play of 14 yards.
You know, Mike Shanahan, we talked to Bill Belichick, and he said Mike Shanahan's the best guy I go against. He attacks you with his schemes. He makes you make adjustments that you don't want to make. He attacks your weaknesses with his schemes, and he's got people that are playing to their strengths. I mean, and that says something when Bill Belichick, who's one of the premier defensive coordinators, let alone head coaches in the league, says that about you.
And Shanahan, as we heard Steve yesterday, was equally complimentary of Belichick as a coach. As the handoff goes to straight up the middle, and Anthony Pleasant quickly shuts it down on Orlandis Gary. Monday on CBS, it's a night of Halloween hysteria, starting with the King of Queens that's so funny it'll scare you, followed by Yes Dear, and Monday's #1 comedy, Everybody Loves Raymond, back and better than ever. Then stay tuned for Ted Danson and Becker, and don't miss an all-new Family Law. It's all here Monday on CBS.
And you talk about all the guys that they've lost to injuries, the Broncos. Mike Shanahan says, I don't want to hear those guys tell me they're healthy. I go by what I see in practice. If they look healthy, then I believe it.
Yeah, he said they'll tell you they want to play and they're ready to play, but you got to see what you see in practice and make the decision. Now a timeout is signaled by the Broncos as they want to get it right. Second down coming up. With Steve Tasker, this is Don Criqui back at Invesco at Mile High Stadium. As Teddy Bruschi, guy who's now started 43 straight games at outside backer for the Patriots, looks at Brian Griese. 10th play of the drive coming up. On second down, they go to the run, and the Patriots shut it down. They're playing the run tough on Orlando Scary. Over the last 6 years, Denver has scored more points than any team in the NFL. But since those opening routes of the Giants and the Cardinals, this offense, Steve, has stalled. It went from 35 points a game in those 2 opening wins to 16 points a game in the last 4.
And that's the difference, Don. I mean, that's the entire difference. Their offense has really struggled. It's been good at times, but it's been inconsistent.
See the third down conversions, both teams 2 of 3. Griese takes a look, beautiful throw, first down Broncos, as Griese zips in a tight spiral, and Desmond Clark, the best receiver of the tight ends, makes the play. Former Bill Matt Stevens makes the tackle.
Well, Matt Stevens is the third guy that they've tried to put on Desmond Clark man-to-man, and he's the third guy Desmond Clark has scorched.
He was a teammate of yours, wasn't he?
Yes, Matt Stevens was safety with the Buffalo Bills. I played with him. He's played with the Redskins, the Eagles, and now the Patriots. He's been around the block once or twice. Good player.
Starting at free safety. Griese on first down with a deep drop, looking to get all of it. He's got a guy, but he overshoots him, so you can see that Griese's legit when he's telling us there's nothing wrong with his arm. He unloaded there. For the best NFL coverage on the net, including expert analysis and in-depth team reports, go to cbs.sportsline.com or AOL keyword CBS Sportsline.
You talk about Brian Griese and the fact he's had 2 shoulder surgeries, and yet again, as you see his numbers, his shoulder's giving him problems this year, but he says, you know, it's a different injury. It's different this year, and I'm starting to get on top of it.
Meaning he's working his way through it.
That's the way it is in the season.
13th play of the drive. Remember, this started the 2-yard line. Here's a handoff, and Mike Anderson takes the ball inside the 35-yard line, down inside the 30. Knocked out of bounds by Tabucky Jones, but it's a first down for the Broncos at the Patriots 28. 16-yard gain.
Well, this is what Brian Griese and his shoulder have been missing, is a run game that's consistent. This drive, as you said, Don, started clear back when Griese was standing on his own goal line. And now they've got it way deep into the Patriots territory because the run game has come alive and they've been able to keep him honest defensively.
It's Mike Anderson, 230 pounds, played at Utah, 6th-round draft choice, went to college after 4 years in the Marine Corps. Griese with another good play fake, and then he swings it out and goes to a tight end, Patrick Hape, and Bruschi brings him down after a short gain.
One of the things we were talking about with Brian Griese as he drops back to throw again is, you know, I said he's getting on top of the injury. And when you're in the NFL, you know, and you get nicked up during the season, Don, there's no time to heal. And you heal up for a couple of days, but you're always forcing your body to push beyond the limits of what healing would allow. So your injuries all stay just a little bit raw. And you see their play faking by Griese has been crucial in this game, and it's still working here late in the second quarter.
And he's throwing well. Brian Griese has hit 8 of 10 for 106 yards. Anderson hit and knocked back. Terrific play by Willie McGinnis. Now in his 8th year, a guy who himself has faced a number of injury problems. When he's in good health, he makes this defense go.
And you know, you can't predict it, Don. You never know which of your great players, if any, are going to be injured. You don't know if they're going to be injured and be able to come back. You know that statistics say that you're going to lose 1 or 2 guys maybe, or struggle with it, but some teams just seem to overcome it better than others.
Right now, Griese and the Broncos have to overcome a 3rd down and 11 play. They go to a quick screen, and the Patriots diagnose it. A terrific defensive play coming up to make the hit was Terrence Shaw, number 22, as he was reading that all the way. And now Jason Elam, who shares the NFL record with a 63-yard field goal made, shares it with Tom Dempsey, will come out for a long field goal try. This will be a bit over 50 yards.
And it's going to be 50 yards exactly, Don. You're right. He does have the leg.
50 yards it is. Elam, one of the NFL's very best, as is his counterpart, Vinatieri. Here's the kick. Hit up. It's a little draw on the ball, and he drives it through from 50 yards out, ties the game. So the Broncos down 10-0, rally back and have tied the game at 10-all. Elam hits the 50-yarder, and he'll kick off when we come back to Denver.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Swordfish. Own it today on video cassette or DVD. And by Smirnoff Ice. Intelligent nightlife.
The Denver Broncos tying the game, and that is their longest drive of the season from a number of play standpoints. 17 plays. Look at the time elapsed. 8:40, and it set up a 50-yard field goal. So they got it step by step.
Yeah, they bounced back. Excuse me. No, they bounced back from a very slow 10-point deficit in the first quarter.
Now the kickoff comes down to Kevin Falk from the 2-yard line. Breaks one tackle, across the 20 and across the 30, and Kevin Falk, one of college football's greatest returners in the history of the game, as an All-American at LSU, runs it back, and he takes it all the way out on a 42-yard return to the 43-yard line. Burt Berry on the tackle. Wednesday on CBS, what began as a race around the world has become TV's greatest adventure. And with only 5 teams left, their biggest challenges are just ahead. Don't miss an all-new amazing race Wednesday here on CBS. There is Terrell Davis, troubled by so many injuries. Only 21 carries this season since he ran for 2,000 yards in '98. He's virtually been in the lineup not at all. He's been hurt all the time. Straight ahead, Antoine Smith with a power run. Damian Woody moving out a linebacker, and behind him, Antoine Smith gets to midfield for a gain of 7.
This Terrell Davis, how frustrating must he be, Don, to have a sensational MVP type of year, and then just to be plagued for 3 years with one injury after another, not to be able to help his club. It's extremely frustrating, especially for a star player.
He's missed 24 of 33 games the last 2 seasons because of leg injuries. Good defensive play now by the middle backer, Al Wilson, who stops Antoine Smith.
And you see here, 95 through 98, they could count on him. He was there the whole time. But then, for these, he's out. And this number 5 here today, that turns into a 6 today. So it's another game that he's going to miss. And that is the most disheartening thing for any player, to not be able to be there when your team needs you.
I thought earlier in the week that he might be able to go today, but they have a wealth of running backs. Right now, 3rd down comes up. Timing throw, and somehow the ball is threaded in, but it's incomplete. Troy Brown had it, was stripped of it by Delta O'Neal. So for the first time today, the Patriots have to punt the ball.
Yeah, and this is really the first time when they've gotten a hand on one of Brady's passes. A little bit behind Brown, but that's a throw he's got to make. And Delta O'Neal is a guy that is so dangerous. They've got him on the field now to return punts. He's got great ball skills, Don.
Yeah, they said when you throw it his way, you better look out, because it could be coming right back at you. The punt hit downfield, and Delta O'Neal, the punt returner, was tripped by a cover man of the Patriots to Bucky Jones, who was looking up at the ball. A penalty marker, as you see, was thrown.
That's just not being self-aware, Don. As a coverage guy, you've got to stay way away from the return guy and find the football somehow, some way.
Del O'Neal, former #1 draft choice out of Cal, picked off 4 in 1 game this year. Now the signal is against the Patriots. So this game started fast for New England on offense. 10 quick points on their first 2 drives. Now Bill Belichick comes over to Brad Seeley, the special teams coach.
There you see Belichick talking to Gerard Cherry.
Interference with the opportunity to make a catch on the kicking team, number 34. 15 yards, from the spot.
Call was on Bucky Jones, not Cherry.
And you'll see this punt is short, so O'Neal has to come up. He's not going to look at anything, and then he sees him flash, and that's, I'm telling you, Don, there's no worse job in football than returning punts, and that's the reason. That's just a bad play right there.
He's made a lot of good ones, like last week when he blocked the kick against the Colts. First down. Greasy and the Bronco offense very much in sync now. The rhythm is there, and here's another throw. Tip ball, intercepted. Ted Johnson, no, it's Broski that gets the ball. And Teddy Broski loses it. It's back on the field, and the Broncos get it back. Or do they? Teddy Broski not believing his good fortune and having it pop into his hands.
It's still not over, Don. Brian Greasy jumped on it. Looked like he had it, but once there's a pileup, it's the strongest guy that gets it. It doesn't matter who starts out with it. It matters what happens when they uncover. And I'm telling you, Don,
like that Bonds home run ball.
It's, I mean, if you want to know where evil lives, it's underneath the NFL pile. You can hear the noise. I mean, there's nothing but screaming, and everybody claims they've got it.
Some teeth come into play sometimes down there, don't they?
And then some. I mean, if you want to know how
where evil lives,
it really is.
Not in the hearts of men, but at the bottom of a fight for a loose ball.
It's at the bottom of an NFL pile is where evil is. I mean, because watch here. Now you'll see this ball tipped here as Greasy finds his receiver. Tipped up. Brewski comes down with it now. He makes the mistake. Well, he makes the mistake of thinking
trying to switch hands.
Yeah, he thinks he's Walter Payton. Then Greasy goes down with it. He can't, and then it's down to his feet. Cox goes down after it, and there's two Patriots there.
Looked like Cox ended up with it.
It looked like it. See, there's the tip.
Replay.
This is. Brewski comes in. Now watch as he tries to switch the ball. Just, you know, that the most important thing is just to end up with the football, and he can't get that done. Now Greasy thinks he's got it. Bounces when it hits the thing, and right there, I'm telling you what, Don, the fangs come out.
I'll tell you one thing Mike Shanahan does not want to see is his quarterback diving on loose balls, although he had to do it there, and having people pile on him with the surgically repaired shoulder. Personal foul.
Personal foul on the offense after the defense had recovered the fumble. 15 yards, number 14.
Apparently Cox did get the ball, so a tremendous break for the Patriots.
A personal foul on Greasy, number 14 of the offense. He's in the bottom of the pile, and he's trying to explain to Mike Shanahan exactly what happened. Now, he's in the bottom of the pile. Watch there. He's got it. Now, the ball pops down into his feet, and Brian Cox jumps on it. Matt Stevens jumps on it, and
he recovered both the ball and Greasy's right leg.
That's exactly right. And then everybody jumps on. I'll tell you the worst part about that, Don, is sometimes you get in there and you get caught bent the wrong way.
So there you have a play where the ball was tipped twice, then intercepted, then fumbled twice, plus a penalty. Not a thing of beauty, but it was exciting.
And all thing it started with a simple slant pattern. And it couldn't have turned out worse for the Broncos. After the play was dead, now they got a personal foul on the guy they thought recovered the fumble.
Very rare play. You don't see a personal foul called on a quarterback often.
Well, I told you, Don, at the bottom of the pile, everybody changes.
Rocky Mountain Thunder now as the stands are shaking. This is a beautiful new stadium. There's the same atmosphere and the same absolutely breathtaking shake of the stadium when these fans start to stamp the head at Mile High.
Well, they built it that way. They built it so that it would vibrate like the old Mile High did, and sometimes the cameras shake because of it. And they get this place going, and it is every bit the stadium that Mile High was.
These unbelievable fan base here in Denver. This is a team that has had sellouts for 31 straight years. Only the Redskins can match that, and for so many years the Redskins played in a very small stadium, RFK.
And that's one of the things about being a Denver Bronco. The expectations are high.
Brady and the Patriot offense having to contend with tremendous noise now. Brady rolling out, throws, and makes a perfect throw down to Troy Brown. Somehow Brady threads the ball in over a backer and right to his receiver. The tackle quickly made by Mobley and O'Neal, but it's a throw equal to that touchdown throw as far as perfection.
And you see here the crowd is absolutely going crazy, and they call a pass play, and Brady has the presence of mind to put just enough touch on that to throw it to his go-to guy. I mean, I haven't seen him make a bad play, let alone a bad decision, in 4 weeks.
So now with the 2-minute warning given, there's timeout on the field. They got a good one going here in Denver, 10-10, with the Patriots ready perhaps to take the lead again. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. Only one punt for each side so far today. Lots of offense and great quarterbacking.
Well, you can feel the atmosphere. It's not quite home to these Denver Broncos yet. They still know what it's like to be at home in Mile High. But Invesco Field at Mile High hasn't quite gotten there yet. But I'll tell you what, the fans feel like it's home because they are into this game.
Our producer, Jim Rickoff, has just been informed that the reason for the personal foul on Brian Greasy, he kicked an official while there was that scrum going on for the ball. Kicked the umpire. Now they go to Mark Edwards as he works hard with both arms on the ball. Mark coughed it up a couple of times. Rare fumbles for him earlier in the season and a loss, and he has not gotten over it.
That right there is the guy that Brian Greasy cleated in the scrum.
Andre Wash is the gentleman's name, the umpire. So that game took a definitive turn as the Patriots got the ball back, and then the penalty on the personal foul. Brady play fake and looks, lobs it to an open Troy Brown. A thing of beauty again as Brady just throws the defense, and I could have caught that one, Steve.
Oh, you want to talk about an oops. At the end of that play, 3 defensive backs for Denver were looking at each other, and Troy Brown was someplace else holding the ball. And Tom Brady throws another touchdown pass. You'll see it. He throws it. Little John goes, oh, a little bit of extra something there from Al Wilson. Trying to find out what Tom Brady's made of.
One of the linebackers for Denver, Ian Gold, was a teammate of Greasy's and Tom Brady's at Michigan. He said the reason they both have been winners is they're always the 2 smartest guys on the field. Brady 13 of 16 for 119 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Watch this, is the great play fake once again by Tom Brady, and the ball is gone. And look here, all the defense is back here. He's all by himself. You watch this. This is the eyes. Now you see there's a defensive back. There's a defensive back jumping the wrong way, and they leave him all by himself, and you can't do that in the red zone. That's such discipline-oriented.
Thought they were in zone, and they were obviously in man. Because
yes, I got him. You take him.
Coming up on the Nextel halftime report, join Jim, Mike, Randy, and Jerry for all the scores, highlights, and the latest NFL news. Deion Sanders on the NFL Today displaying another outfit that totally outclassed Jerry Glanville again. Jerry's got to get some of those silver lizard shoes.
He's got to do something.
He's got a lot of catching up to do.
That's quite a day. 13 for 16 for Tom Brady. Has taken, on the first series, took a shot to the head for a personal foul, and then after the second touchdown pass, takes it. Look at that. You can see him talking about, did you see that? Did you see what they did to me? Stood up to it very well, though.
Some young ladies being Appaloosa horses for Halloween.
Guernsey cows, or whatever it was.
Here's Adam Vinatieri kicking off as he booms the ball. This is going to be some game down to the wire. How many like that have we seen here? Here is the kickoff return. Chris Cole breaks it and then is taken down as he gets to the 30. This game has really heated up. It's been good, and I think it's going to get even better. Matt Chatham comes down to make the tackle on special teams for New England. Oakland getting an early lead at Philadelphia. In the game, Ralph Wilson Jr., the owner of the Bills, calls more important than the Super Bowl. His team trailing at San Diego.
And Brian Greasy coming in after just getting a personal foul. The last time he was on the field after a double fumble penalty play.
Brian Greasy and his father Bob, the only father-son combination ever to both win NFL passing championships. And here's a throw and a completion. And now they really dropped the ball. Desmond Clark had his hands on it. They looked to Clark a lot.
And that's obviously something, a new wrinkle in the game plan. Desmond Clark is a good receiver as a tight end, but let's face it, when you got a wideout in Rod Smith who's caught 51 balls, somebody's going to get smart to it. You better find somebody else to spread the ball around to, and Desmond Clark seems to be the guy today.
Well, you've got to watch Desmond Clark, Steve, because he was a very good high school quarterback. He has excellent hands, and someday, he's liable to throw the ball.
And he came out a little bit uncomfortable there. He must have gotten shaken up on that play.
Trips formation, 3 wide receivers right. Greasy goes to the run play, though, and hands it to Mike Anderson. Thursday on CBS, find out why just getting a drink of water can be a life-threatening adventure. Don't miss an all-new Survivor. Thursday on CBS. Greasy stands in. What a throw and catch as he drills the ball into Rod Smith between 2 defenders. It's like these 2 guys are Lloyd Carr's on the sideline. They're competing for the starting job in the spring game at Michigan.
It's like they're thinking with the same brain. Greasy just threw that up as he spikes here to stop the clock. He threw that up for grabs into double coverage, and Rod Smith was the only one looking for the football, and that's why he caught the ball. That is just knowing the guy you're throwing to and having complete trust in him.
Mike Shanahan, so you were talking to ask him yesterday about the loss of the great receiver Ed McCaffrey. So you can't, we're still trying to get over that, get back adjusted to it.
That's exactly right, Don. Watch the look. He's just, the ball goes right over the top of Ty Law, the corner, and you got to have some courage to make that throw if you're Brian Greasy.
Greasy charged with an interception, but it was really a ball that was tipped twice. A crazy play. Here's a throw by Greasy. Another in connection. That is to the good receiving tight end Desmond Clark, who really is working more, Steve, now as a wideout. They flank him out, and after the loss of McCaffrey, he's the big target they need downfield. He's fast.
Yeah, you see there the timeouts left. Denver only has 1 left. New England has 3. There's 28 seconds left. So Denver has got to stay out to the edge of the football field. Actually, not just yet. They can still work the middle of the field to get down into field goal range.
So you see 3rd down and 4 coming up with 28 seconds to go. First half. Patriots led 10-0. Broncos tied the game. Now New England with a 17-10 lead. Here's a big rush. Greasy stands in and comes in high as he triggers the ball downfield. Incomplete.
Now Denver has to start thinking about getting a first down and getting the ball out of bounds. They're really going to have some problems here getting any points out of this. Well, now it is 4th down. They're going to walk off the field. They're not even going to try it, which is probably a good move. Yeah, that's disappointing. It's got to be, because in a game like this, Don, you got to make every possession count.
Just the 3rd punt of the first half. If they don't make that possession count. Roy Bound is back deep. Ball hit well downfield by Tom Ruin, who kicked collegiately for the Colorado Buffaloes, and he kicks it into the end zone for a touchback. Thursday on CBS, find out why just getting a drink of water can be a life-threatening adventure. Don't miss an all-new Survivor. Thursday on CBS. First half, well, that was a dramatic play. The ball that was tipped twice, intercepted, fumbled twice, and a personal foul on Brian Greasy, of all people, as he looked to recover the fumble. And that set up a scoring position for Tom Brady, number 12, and he gunned it into the end zone to his ace, Troy Brown, for the 2nd touchdown throw of the day. The first was to David Patton.
Yeah, they're going to kneel down to end this first half. Anytime you're on the road, Don, no use getting crazy. Take a 7-point lead in Denver anytime you can get it at halftime.
Leads have been hard to come by for the Patriots. They had 11 straight losses here in Denver before they won last year, 28-19. So at the half, Brady with brilliant play, 13 of 16 throwing the ball for 119 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now a word from your local station. Patriots building a 17-10 at halftime here in Denver. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. These 2 quarterbacks, Tom Brady and Brian Greasy, their careers in lockstep for a number of years now, dating back to Michigan. And they were both part of some terrific first half highlights, with many more to come in the second half.
Well, the Patriots have been doing it with play action pass. This is a 30-yard strike right there to Troy Brown, or to David Patton for the first touchdown. And then Brian Greasy, after a nice pass to his tight end, pounds it in from the 10, and this is the last touchdown. Troy Brown all by himself. the Patriots have just made fewer mistakes, Don.
So there are the first half numbers. You see pretty even passing yards, total yards. Each team with 1 turnover.
I think one thing that's important to note, Don, is that the Broncos bounced back after a very slow start. And now they've played the last half of the first quarter and the second quarter very tough.
Talking about Brady, and Brady said of Greasy, you'll never find anybody mentally tougher than Brian Greasy. Greasy said of Brady, the reason his team wins is because he doesn't make mistakes. And here he goes into a 5th straight game without making mistakes. He's yet to throw an interception since he's been started. Terrific kickoff out of the end zone by Adam Vinatieri, guy who kicks at long range at ground level.
And this is what happens in the second half as they come out. These are the first half numbers for both those guys. In the second half, I think you're getting an idea of how good the coaching staffs for both these teams are. This is when you make adjustments, and that's when a coaching staff, I believe, Don, really earns its salaries. They have to make adjustments on the fly during a game to give their team a chance to win.
Greasy goes to Anderson. They still have not generated the power running game consistently they wanted. Anderson with 33 yards on 10 carries in the first half. But you want to see a wild play, one that I don't know if it'll go in the time capsule. It certainly makes tonight's highlight reel.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Now this is a quick slant from Greasy to Smith, and it gets popped up, batted twice. Teddy Bruschi catches it, tries to switch hands, pops out, goes to the sidelines. He tries to recover it, misses. Then Brian Greasy jumps on it. He grabs it, fumbles it down to his legs.
To go back to live action, and again, the Patriot defenders put up a stone wall against the running game of Mike Anderson. Anthony Pleasant and Bobby Hamilton on the stop.
Now that last play we showed you with the double fumble, this is the end of it as the ball comes out, and you'll see it right there down in Greasy's legs. And then as they get going and they start pulling and pushing, watch the umpire, watch him right there.
Andre Wash comes in.
During the aftermath, Greasy kicked him somehow, some way, not intentionally, but it doesn't really matter. And he got a personal foul, which gave New England a chance to score.
So now 3rd down, an open backfield, 4 wide receivers. Greasy timing throw, he's picked off. Stevens picks it off for the Patriots, takes it inside the 25-yard line, and in his wisdom, gets out of bounds before the ball can be knocked free. He sees what happens to defenders who try to run with it.
Yeah, we just saw Teddy Bruschi in the first half cough that up. Matt Stevens judiciously just runs out of bounds and makes sure his team ends the play with the ball. Brian Greasy throws this out, and right there you see he threw to the inside, and Rod Smith, or that was actually Desmond Clark, moved to the outside for the first time. Desmond Clark right here, he's been working them all day. You see there, a little push-pull there. And Matt Stevens gets the better of it.
Greasy now with 7 interceptions in his last 3 games. 5 in the previous 2. Here is a handoff, and Antoine Smith drives, and Broncos defenders in ill humor throw him back, led by Bill Romanowski, the 14-year veteran from Boston College, who's in unbelievable condition and has no intentions of retiring. Guy's never missed a game on any level going back to Pee Wee football.
And he's a leader. I mean, that's a guy that everybody looks to as an emotional spark plug, a guy that's always going to be there, always going to be emotionally ready to play, and he brings guys with him in that.
Brady with a lone back on 2nd down and 9. Blitzers are coming. Corner blitz is coming. Brady dumps it off. He screens it beautifully. And on the run inside the 20-yard line is Kevin Falk. But another very good defensive play. Saved possibly a touchdown as Kenoy Kennedy, the strong safety.
When we talk about this Bronco defense, it all starts with their linebackers. And Romanowski's a guy who's been around the block in the NFL. But look at all the games, all the way back in 1976, all the way through 01 in the NFL. Has never missed a game at Pop Warner High School, college, in the NFL. I don't know how good the Shamrocks were, but at least they had a pretty good middle linebacker.
Yeah, he certainly blossomed, and now in his 14th year. But Romanowski and the Bronco defenders up against it now. This is a 3rd down. A long 4 needed. And on the run is Brady, and a penalty marker is thrown as Brady gets down to the 15-yard line, short of the first down. Taken down by Keith Washington.
Yeah, you're right, Don. It's going to be interesting. I think they're going to take the penalty and push him back further. It's a hold on the offensive line there, deep in the backfield. Do you make him go 4th down and make him try a field goal, or do you give Brady another chance? I might take Brady off the field and decline the penalty.
Well, Walt Coleman waiting to get the signal from the defense.
Holding, 63, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
And goes from 3rd and 4 to 3rd and 14. You'll see it's Trevor Price right there. That's the hold right up there in the top is Brady.
Bruzy.
Yeah, Bruzy put the clamp,
quarterback.
clamped on Chester McLaughlin there.
And Bruzy, the New Yorker, whose brothers are firefighters, they said he's been a tremendous inspirational leader for the Patriots. Bill Belichick signaled him out, and Ted Johnson, for guys that don't get a lot of credit for what they do for their team. And here now is Brady, play fake, and he's looking at the end zone, buying time with his feet. Got a channel to run. Now he throws it near side, and there's not much place for Charles Johnson to go, as he's taken down on a great open field tackle by Denard Walker, 27. He was a very expensive free agent. A very good corner, was with the Tennessee Titans. Brings up 4th down as Brian Griese contemplates what's next.
And after throwing that interception, at least his defense held the Patriots to a 3-point attempt here.
Vinatieri, a long-range kicker. He's hit 4 field goals over 50 yards in the last 3 seasons for the Patriots, all at ground level. This is a 44-yarder. He'll boom it. He kicks it way over the top, and let's see, it is ruled up and good. Gets it inside the upright, so Vinatieri continues his excellent kicking. And the Patriots, for a second time in this game, have a 10-point lead. The Patriots hitting a 44-yard field goal off the foot of Vinatieri. He now kicks off a high spinning kick. And here comes Chris Cole up with the ball. Routes across the 20 and the 30. Lightning quick return man brings the ball out to the 35-yard line, where he's taken down by, and let's see, it's going to be a 33-yard return on the play.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36. PS1, wherever, whenever, forever. And by Chrysler, drive equals love.
The water flows outside Invesco Field at Mile High. Inside, the home Broncos are now in need of some big plays, down by 10 points in the 3rd quarter. Brian Griese taking a look downfield. Throws it out beautifully, and Rod Smith is on the run. He's going to go the distance. Rod Smith is going to take it all the way down and go into the end zone on a spectacular play, a 65-yard scoring play, as Griese and Smith get 7 back quick if they make the extra point.
This is why Brian Griese is such a good quarterback. He bounces back from the bad interception he just threw, finds his go-to guy, stands in the pocket, and goes for a touchdown.
Well, as yesterday, Steve, when we talked to Bill Belichick, he said nobody's better than Shanahan at attacking your defense, making you make adjustments, showing you new things all the time. He said you have to be ready for everything, and the Patriot defenders weren't ready for that, as Smith today has 5 catches for 138 yards and a touchdown. Extra point up and good, so this shootout continues as the Broncos again rally back on the most spectacular play of this game. Down by 3, they'll kick off when we come back. Welcome back to Denver as the touchdown horse on the ride again.
Thunder.
Thunder has his own stall out there.
Stadium has everything, doesn't it?
Even the stall for Thunder as the kickoff comes down, and here comes Kevin Falk from the 8-yard line. Those cutback moves, he works his way and gets across the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Patriots. Saturday, Josh Reed and the LSU Tigers tangle with Tyler Watts and the Crimson Tide of Alabama. The action begins with Tim Brando and Spencer Tillman in College Football Today. For more college football news, go to cbs.sportsline.com. AOL keyword CBS Sportsline. Well, Drew Bledsoe's on the phone now. getting word from on high what the offensive coaches in the box see. While on the field, Tom Brady, who's hit 15 of 18 throws, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Pitch back and on the run. Breaking it is Antoine Smith. And he's out across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Your former teammate with the Bills, what are his strengths?
Well, that right there is his speed is his strength. He doesn't have much lateral mobility. He doesn't have much juke in the hole. But once he turns his shoulders up, he can go. And you see there, that's Trey Teague right there, I believe, that went down.
I think it's Matt Light, the left tackle.
Oh, there you go, Matt Light.
Matt Light, the rookie from Purdue. His last 4 years, he's been protecting the blind side of Drew Brees now at the San Diego Chargers. But Matt Light being attended to by trainer O'Neill and team orthopedist Zarens, Dr. Zarens.
You watch. There he is right there. Obviously, it looked like it got him on the elbow.
So Matt Light and some discomfort on the field, and play is stopped.
You don't need to lose your left tackle at this point. This is one of the things that Bill Belichick has said. He's got an offensive line that seems to be getting better because they've been together now for 5 or 6 weeks, and that's been the difference.
Good to see Matt getting up, but it seems to have some problems with that right arm.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Nextel, how business gets done, and by Sun America, the retirement specialist.
Ready to go as we come back to Invesco Field at Mile High with the Patriots with the ball. Leading the game is from the shotgun now on 1st and 10. Tom Brady sets himself. First look from the shotgun. Quick timing pattern. A wide receiver screen to Troy Brown. Setting up the blockers quickly. He does get about 4 yards. Of the surprise teams this year, which one has the best chance of going the distance? The Bears, who won an unbelievable comeback game today. The Bengals, who won again at Detroit. The Browns, who are playing sensationally. The Chargers, the 49ers, or the Steelers? I'd say the Steelers. Just log out and cast your vote at NFL.com. Steelers have the #1 running game, the #1 defense, and a kicker who can kick it from a mile out. Pitch back to Antoine Smith. They don't get much. And now Troy Brown is shaken up a bit. What a player he's been. He was an 8th-round draft choice. He came out the same year that Drew Bledsoe was drafted #1 in the whole league.
Yeah, you can see there he's getting right back in the game too, and you can bet that Tom Brady's breathing a sigh of relief there as his go-to guy comes in.
Troy Brown played for the Thundering Herd of Marshall, and he can really throw the ball as well as catch it. Brady on 3rd down steps in, makes a throw, and it's taken in unbelievably by Brown, who goes way up, a fingertip grab. Still shaken up, and somehow he makes yet another play right between the 2 starting corners, O'Neill and Walker.
And that's the NFL, Don. That guy, Brown, comes off the bench after being shaken up and makes a crucial 3rd down catch in traffic and takes the shot from 3 guys around him. That's why a quarterback throws some guys the ball more than others right there, Don.
11-yard gain. Troy Brown has caught 8 for 70 yards and a touchdown. Bobble ball, it's on the field, and Brady falls on it. John Mobley was on him quickly.
Well, there it is, Don. First mistake he's made in 5 weeks. Fumble in the snap.
And he got the ball back.
And he got the ball back.
Brady told us it's almost easier quarterbacking in the NFL for him because he has the option to adjust and call audibles. He said at Michigan, you called the play this coach sent in, didn't change it.
Yeah, and it was interesting. He says it's amazing to me how much is at my disposal as an NFL quarterback. I can change the protections. I can change the adjustments. There's so many things I can do. And for a guy who's smart and prepared, wow, he's tough to defend.
And his numbers are magnificent. He has his team in the lead right now. 20-17 game. Brady stands in another screen near side and beautifully diagnosed. He goes to J.R. Redmond and Chester McLaughlin. The first time we've called his name all day, but he really snuffs it out and ends that play quickly for a substantial loss all the way back to the 49-yard line of the Patriots.
Well, Chester McLaughlin has been in the Pro Bowl because of things like this. He's a little bit more inconsistent at this point in his career. But Chester is a guy that when it's there for him to turn on and he flips the switch, he's tough to attack, man. That guy's got it all.
He's a power, 334 pounds. Third down, needing a long yardage. The first sack of the day as the Bronco defense rises up. Led by Trevor Price, 93, and Bertrand Berry, 92. So all of a sudden, the momentum of this game has changed dramatically, and Bill Belichick knows that better than any of us after he saw the 65-yard pass play for a touchdown last time that the Broncos had the ball.
Yeah, the momentum has definitely switched. Even though the Broncos are trailing by 3 at this point, the game is in their hands. There's no question they've got it.
Ken Walter in to punt the ball. New punter Lee Johnson was waived after the San Diego game, and here is the punt, hit down and caroms into the end zone to Bucky Jones, unable to keep it out. So it goes for 54 yards, but 20 comes off on the touchback. Net yardage 34. First down Broncos when we come back. Last 4 possessions for the Broncos. See how it's gone for them.
Now this is the most recent one, obviously the touchdown, but the momentum has swung definitely in their favor.
Gracie got his best field position on the previous possession and capitalized right away with a 65-yard pass play for a touchdown. He's going for the distance again. Long ball. Kinnison off his fingertips. Eddie Kinnison, the fastest Bronco receiver, but a man who has at times the ability to make a spectacular catch and then the ability to drop a perfectly thrown ball like that.
And I'll tell you what, Don, I'll tell you what everybody on the sidelines in this stadium's thinking. Ed McCaffrey doesn't drop this ball.
I don't think Ed McCaffrey gets out that far either that fast.
That's nothing against Eddie Kinnison, but that's exactly what people are thinking. And Brian Griese needed his receiver to make a play for him on that. If they do that and make that play, this game may well be over.
We're a long way from over, though, I think, in this one. We're going down to the final gun. Handoff. Breaking it for the moment is Orlandis Gary. Big back out of Georgia. Well, they get all their backs in the lower rounds. Mike Anderson, the starter, a 6th-round draft choice. Orlandis Gary, a 4th-rounder. Terrell Davis was a 6th-rounder. Ball position to the 24-yard line, Steve.
I think when you see a team do that, when they get those guys, those consistently great guys in the late rounds, you have to kind of think maybe they're looking for something different than everybody else is.
And maybe they have a good offensive line. That's been a bit of an undersized line, but great scheme blocking as the pass to them goes out. Still on the run. He was not touched, and the officials running with him. This play is live. Desmond Clark. Not college football. When your knees go down, if the defender doesn't touch you, you can keep going. And he did.
As Clark runs the quick out, Griese's going to find him. And Desmond Clark has been involved in this game plan today more so than any other thing, any other game this year, and he's making the most of it. And you saw the defender go right over the top of him. Right there, Matt Stevens jumps over, never touches him. Clark gets up, and that's smart heads-up play.
Was that the former quarterback? A 35-yard gain on the play. He got 25 yards after he fell down. Here's a long ball. Receiver open but unable to come in with the ball as Keith Poole was the deep man. No penalty marker coming, to the dismay of the Bronco fans.
Oh, I thought they had a penalty coming as well. Terrence Shaw's got the coverage on Poole and watches they come out. Now, Terrence Shaw can do anything he wants as long as he looks for the football. But he's not looking in there. You see him, he's pushing against him. Then his eyes come back. That's not quite as bad as it looked from up here. Poole also pushes off, tries to come back for the ball. That's probably a good no call, Don.
It's like a fair fight for the ball.
Yeah, that's no reason for a flag there.
Second down, but Griese's looking to get it in big chunks. Here's a quick hitch going over, and this is Rod Smith on the run. And he breaks through the Patriot defense and gets inside the 20-yard line. A lot of screens, wide receiver screens, tight end screens, and a Patriot is now down.
Brian Cox. Yeah, Brian Cox down on the field. We've seen that a lot, Don. You're exactly right. The quarterback will step back and just throw it to the wide guy right off the bat. Brian Cox, I'll tell you what, I've seen him play for 12 years. I've never seen him stay down on a football field.
Well, he was talking yesterday when we met with him about some of the hits he's seen you make. When he was with Miami, his teammate Marco Coleman, who's a defensive end, said when you hit him, his feet were his head should have been, his head was where his feet should have been.
Well, we used to
got a clean shot.
That's right. Well, there were some battles going on, but Brian Cox is a guy who Bill Belichick picked up, who played for him in New York when he was with the Jets, and now Brian Cox is the guy.
Brian's ankle might bother
Yeah,
him. He had some interesting observations about his own career. He said he's more valuable now as a leader than he is on the field, but he's been very important to this Patriot team.
You watch down here, and Laura right there, just got caught, and oh, that's not good. His foot came over the top of his leg.
He's up though.
Yeah,
that's good to see.
That is not good. That was not a pretty thing to see. But Brian Cox is a guy. He's one of those guys when you play against him, Don, you hate him. You can't stand him. But secretly, you wish he was on your team.
Yeah. Fun guy. He came into our meeting with a shirt and tie, gold tie and gold shirt of silk that are worth more than my car. Monday on CBS, spend Halloween with the King of Queens. It's an episode so funny, it's scary. Monday on CBS. So the ball is, I think Cox is looking down. The guy that submarined him, but didn't look like there was any intent to it.
It looked like it was going to be fairly innocuous, but when his foot got caught underneath him, then the injury happened.
First down, Greasy pump faking to the end zone, lofts the ball, and he indeed continues to go to Desmond Clark, and it's incomplete.
Bucky Jones had the defense on him, and he just didn't bite. It was an out and up by Desmond Clark. He ran the quick out like he's caught 3 or 4 times. Then he turned back up the field, and Bucky Jones wanted no part of it.
Mike Shanahan knows it was close. What a winner he's been.
You want to talk about living and dying with every snap. That's a guy, especially on his offensive side of the ball. He is one of the best.
A man who knows how to win football games. Back-to-back Super Bowl wins. Here is the handoff, and running hard with the ball, and Orlandis Gary takes on the Patriot defenders. New England's had problems stopping the run this season, and it's in evidence there.
And I think one of the things that New England does have a kind of a reputation for being soft against the run. But one of the reasons is, especially in the past few weeks, they've been ahead and have not really had a team try and pound it out on the ground. So they kind of protecting a lead. They're playing soft. They're letting them run the game and let the clock go. So I think that might be a little bit of a misnomer that they're soft against the run.
Interesting formation now. 5 players deployed as wideouts. One comes in motion. This is Orlandis Gary. Open backfield, and now a timeout is signaled. And the Patriots are the ones who call it. Broncos have never led in this game. They were down 10-0, tied at 10-10, down 17-10 at halftime, then down 20-10, now down by 3. Tonight, after 60 minutes, what do you tell your child when he asks one of life's biggest questions? Don't miss an all-new Education of Max Bickford tonight after 60 minutes here on CBS. Ball position just outside the 10-yard line.
That's probably a smart timeout by the Patriots. When you're down on your own 10-yard line and the offense is coming in, you don't want to be uncertain defensively, especially with a 3-point lead.
We talked, Steve, about the Broncos scoring problems. They are averaging almost 35 points a game and winning their first 2 against the Giants in Arizona. But in the previous subsequent 4 games, they've scored only 16 points a game, and now they're looking to perhaps take the lead for the first time as Greasy on 3rd and 1 has an interesting play call.
But I think one of the things that's happened to them is their running game has evaporated, and I think Brian Greasy's numbers reflect that. He's been trying to win games by himself.
He fakes so well. He freezes the defense. This time he gives on the run, and Orlandis Gary goes right at a great trap block up the middle. Brings a gap. Ed Johnson makes the tackle, but he makes it at the 6-yard line. 1st and goal, Broncos.
Brandon Mitchell almost had Orlandis Gary right in the backfield for no gain. Watch as he comes right here. Just misses him. Gary makes the slight sidestep and gets the first down. Great running, excellent defensive play as well, but it just didn't turn out for the Patriots.
Nayland, the 4-time Pro Bowler, making big blocks. Here's the throw and the catch, and the Broncos take the lead. Dwayne Carswell. His second catch of the day is a big one. 6-yard touchdown, and now they have the extra point man out to try the point after in Jason Elam.
That really makes this game interesting, Don. Brian Griese showed great poise in bouncing back from 2 interceptions. Now, can the young guy Tom Brady answer?
Elam kicks the extra point up and good. And so for the first time today on their home field, the Broncos, who've lost 2 straight and 3 of their last 4, have taken the lead.
Starts with a play fake once again, and the first catch by Dwayne Carswell today is a touchdown. Forget all about him. And
Bowing deeply from the waist.
Exactly right. Thank you very much for that lovely touchdown.
Hey, Gree, you talked about Griese's play fakes, and there was another one. He frees people up. You know, he learned that at South Florida from his father.
And it was interesting. We talked to Tom Brady, and he told Griese on the phone, he was live. He says, "Don't try that bootleg stuff on us this week." Well, there you saw it for the touchdown. I'm sure Griese will say, "Nanny, nanny, boo-boo on you." I just did it.
We've only just begun, though. 3:35 to go in the third quarter. More touchdowns to come in this game. And Brady chomping at the bit to get his next chance on offense. The Broncos with 2 80-yard touchdown drives today and a 17-play field goal drive. Jason Elam ready to kick off. Kevin Falk, a dangerous return man, standing back at his 2-yard line. High spinning kick. It's short to the 11. And very good special teams play. Kevin Falk has run down way back inside the 15-yard line. Coming down to make the play was Darius Clark for 47.
You know, it's interesting. I think now for the first time, it's going to be up to Tom Brady to win a football game on his own. He's going to come in here late in the third quarter in a tight ball game. There's no 3-touchdown lead like there was a week ago in Indianapolis. This is going to be Tom Brady's moment to really say, I really can. I'm not a fluke. I am the real deal.
Brady has thrown for only 20 yards in the second half. Griese's thrown for 127. Handoff and fighting for yards and getting plus yards out to the 30-yard line is his running back Antoine Smith. Follow all the games on NFL.com, and after the games get in-depth analysis and recaps from the experts. Only at NFL.com or AOL keyword NFL.com. Each quarterback, Steve, threw for 119 yards in the first half, but a very different story in the second.
Yeah, Brady for 20 yards. Brian Griese for 127 yards in the second half, and we're only just coming to the end of the third quarter.
2:48 to play in it. Second down and short. Back to the run. Huge defensive play. The middle backer, Al Wilson, shooting the gap. And making the stop for a loss on the play. Back to the 28-yard line. So now Brady looks to the sideline.
When you see a defense make a play like this, you know, it's as much a function of being aggressive and really being at home that makes you do that. I think more and more this Denver team is feeling at home here in Invesco Field. The crowd is into it, and this is an energetic place, just like Mile High used to be, and you can tell it's having an effect.
Up to call signals. Brady in the shotgun. Third down. Needs 4. Makes the throw and the catch. It goes to Charles Johnson. And Johnson makes a big play on a slant route over the middle. Timing throw. Beautifully executed. The drive continues.
This is a zone blitz. Leon Lett drops out from being a pass rusher trying to defend the pass. You see there right there. He just misses the play. Trying to confuse Tom Brady with a different blitz look by pulling a pass rushing defensive lineman out into coverage and sending one of the small guys after him.
But Brady, once again, not fooled. Brady steps in. Here comes the rush. Here's the throw. Another perfect strike out to the midfield line. And it's a gain on the play of 13 yards and another first down. David Patton coming down with the ball.
It continues, yeah, it continues to be Tom Brady's styles to hit guys all over the field. I mean, he's hit 6 or 8 different receivers today. David Patton again. That's really difficult for a defense, Don. If every guy on your team who's eligible is catching passes, who do you concentrate on?
He makes you play the whole field. And he sees the whole field. First down. Patriots trailing for the first time in the game late in the third quarter. Hand up. Big gap. And rocketing straight ahead, close to first down yardage. It looks from the linesman's spot that he has it.
Live from Channel 12, here's today's Rhode Island lottery number.
Good evening, I'm Nick Blair from Island College. Welcome to tonight's daily number drawing. Here's tonight's winning number. First digit 0, second digit 2, third digit 9, and final digit 7. Repeating 0297. Have a good night.
Made a big block, so did Robinson Randall. First down, Patriots. Another quick throw near side. Patton gets yards as the very fast defenders for the Broncos run him out of bounds. Denard Walker, 27. John Mobley was also on the play. John is a real offensive.
It really is.
Textbook.
Yeah, Brady's he's making every throw, and the Bronco defenders are doing everything they can to cover the guys when he does. John Mobley out from the linebacking position on that wide screen, almost in on the tackle. You talked to Mobley yesterday, and he said, you know, I just want to make sure I'm assignment pure. Yeah. And that's really, when you're assignment pure, it means you don't make mistakes, and against a quarterback like Brady, that's important.
And at the end of the third quarter, Patriots trailing now 24-20 to the Broncos. Will return after this message from your local station. The young starter, Tom Brady, continues to build his passing numbers. He's hit 21 of 24 for 163 yards in this game. 2 for touchdowns. His counterpart, former teammate at Michigan, Brian Greasy, has hit 15 of 25 for 246 yards and 2 touchdowns. But 2 have been intercepted. 1 a tip ball. It really wasn't his fault. 1 was right to the wrong guy. But now Greasy has led his team back to take the lead for the first time as we start the fourth quarter. Brady on second down, needing 6, makes the throw. It's on the hands of his receiver, but so is a jarring tackle on that receiver, Troy Brown. And the ball is separated. Delta O'Neal, 24. A big hit.
And you talk about these quarterbacks and how they're playing. Both of them are playing really well. You see here, Greasy has come there. He threw the 2 interceptions, but he also came back with 2 touchdowns. Or 1 interception and 2 touchdowns. This is the difference right here. Brady's only got, he's 8 for 8, but 44 yards. They're going to have to ask more of him, Don. These are the second half numbers.
Well, before long, he's going to go over the top. He's dinking and dunking. Defense is up on third down. And now a timeout is signaled with 14:53 to play. Brady wants some counsel on this important down. Denver 24, New England 20. As we come up to third down, and the young quarterback needs 7. The Broncos exhort the crowd here at Invesco. Brady with maybe his biggest snap of the day coming now to keep the drive alive. Early in the fourth quarter. 3 wide receivers, 2 backs. Hand off. They go to Mark Edwards, and he crashes ahead. They go to a fullback run. And there's a penalty marker down as Edwards goes down at about the 34-yard line. A good 4 yards short of where he needed to go for the first down.
And there's a face mask at the end of that.
On the defense,
we'll see if it's going to be a 5,
10, or 15-yarder.
Or 15-yarder, yeah.
Depending on the severity, here's Walt Coleman.
Face mask, 5 yards, number 56, will result in a first down.
Wow. You'll watch here as it comes in. I don't see it yet. I don't see it yet. There it is right there. Al Wilson gets his hand up around the face mask.
Spot foul, so it's where he was.
That's exactly right. And they were past.
They got the first down.
They were
5-yard penalty.
Exactly. The 5-yard penalty gave them the first down. We've seen that at 2 crucial times today against the Broncos.
First and 10. The drive lives for the Patriots. Bronco defenders coming hard. Brady gets time. Fires. Extending for the ball is Kevin Falk. He can't get it. It'll be 2nd and 10 as we head back to New York. And to Jim Nance. Jim?
All right, thank you, Don. Tight games, the order of the day. Out at Seattle, 1-yard run here. Lamar Smith to tie it. They've moved on to the fourth quarter. 12 minutes to play. Tied at 17. Let's go back to Don and Steve.
Thanks, Jim. Right now we have second down and 10 coming up after a near miss over the middle. Defenders, there's John Mobley, a very good pass cover with their speed. Mike Shanahan has linebackers who can not only play the run and blitz, they can pass cover. On second down, Brady stands in. He swings it out. Another screen play. This one comes near side to Antoine Smith, and he's down inside the 25-yard line to the 23. The Patriots have a beautiful new stadium coming next summer. CMGI Field. Here it is under construction in Foxborough. An absolutely fabulous facility, as is this one the Broncos play in. Here's a virtual tour of it.
And I tell you, Don, there's a lot of new stadiums around the NFL, and each one is more beautiful than the last. And I'm sure the one in New England, which that guy right there told us is going to feature a lighthouse.
Yeah, lighthouse and a bridge. Bob Kraft, who said you only build one stadium in your lifetime. We decided to make it a good one. They did. Right now, third down and 4. Throw and a catch. Troy Brown. And a penalty marker's down as Brady is hit. His helmet's knocked off after he releases the ball. And they might get Trevor Price on a roughing the passer call.
And that'll be the second one. The first one was the first series of the game, and there it is.
Roughing the passer.
Now this is what's really hurt the Broncos today, Don, more so than I think even more so than Greasy's 2 interceptions have been the penalties at crucial times on drives.
Roughing the passer, number 93, defense, hits it ahead. That's the distance to the goal. First down.
Another costly personal foul keeps the drive alive.
You'll see there's he releases the ball. And that's just silly. I mean, there's no reason for that. What's he right in his face? They're going to call that every time. And I don't know how many times that has to happen around the National Football League before the defensive linemen learn it. His hand was up around the face mask of the quarterback, and they're going to call it every time.
What should be called is that Shanahan wants an answer from Price. $5 million a year defensive tackle and one of the best players in the league at his position, but not on that play. First down. Patriots mounting the challenge, keeping the drive going. Brady throws and the ball overshoots his intended receiver Troy Brown. Bring up second down.
That was a play when the defense ran on late, and as Brady backed up into the pocket, he didn't know exactly what defense he was looking at because the Broncos couldn't get lined up. You see there, running on very late is Kavika Pittman, and Brady didn't know exactly who was covering who was rushing. He didn't know exactly what was going to happen with the defense, and he looked a little hesitant on his decisions and his read.
Now Brady sets his team with 4 wide receivers. Draw play to Kevin Falk, and he's inside the 10-yard line, but well short of a first down, so that brings up third down and a 6 or 7. Tackle made by big Leon Lett, the former Dallas Cowboy, number 94.
Leon Lett, one of those guys who's one of the, well, I don't know what you call them. They're huge. You can use any big adjective. He's big, and that's what they need down there. With Chester McLaughlin and Leon Lett in there, they're like tree stumps. You can't move them, so you have to run around them.
Charlie Weiss, the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, with a play call here. Third down, needing 7. His team down by 4. And in his wisdom, Tom Brady calls a timeout. Wanted to make sure it works. Getting a defensive look he wasn't ready for.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway. Fresh-made sandwiches on fresh baked bread. Subway, eat fresh. Cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Never miss a genuine opportunity. And by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Here we are back in the capital city of Colorado, Denver. Rocky Mountain Thunder starts up as a huge play now evolves for the Patriots and the Broncos. The Patriots down 24-20. And Mobley knows how to get them fired up. Cameras are shaking because the stands are. Third down. Brady and the Patriots need a long 7, almost 8. Blitz is coming. Brady stands in and goes down. Penalty markers down at the line of scrimmage.
Penalty markers came out very early. It's going to be on the Patriots for illegal procedure.
Prior to the snap, false start, 85.
That was a break for the Patriots.
Yeah, it really was. Now they get a chance at it.
They need more yards, but they get the down over.
Let's see it. Right up here is the false start. Whoop. Right down here is the false start.
Yeah, they sent everybody but Mike Shanahan after Brady as his helmet comes flying off again. And again, a high hit.
Look at that. Even in that, I mean, Brady gets up after getting his helmet ripped off like he just bent over to tie his shoe. And the guy's got some poise.
Those helmets don't come flying off by themselves. 3rd down and 12. Brady takes a look. Throws. Intercepted in the end zone. A brilliant play. Coming up with the ball is Denard Walker, number 27. And the drive is stopped. So Brady throws his first interception since starting as a Patriot. Bill Belichick sees the drive stalled. His team down by 4. So now Brian Griese and the Broncos take over after one of the great plays maybe of this season for the Broncos. There is Denard Walker, who was an off-season acquisition. Signed as an unrestricted free agent from Tennessee, a top cornerback, and he showed it there. A tremendous play to stop the Patriot drive. Now Griese elects to take his team to the run as he gets it to Orlando Gary.
Well, one of the things that happens when you're a quarterback, Don, they always tell you, rule number 1, never throw late over the middle. Brady moves to his right, throws back across his body late in the play.
What a pick, though, huh?
And that's the result of a 13-play drive for the Patriots comes up empty.
Put Mike Shanahan, his team, looking for big plays. He really gets one there. Tom Brady, his first 163 passes, no intercepts. NFL record. Old record was 130 by Warren Moon. Now they swing it out, and again, Desmond Clark, the guy you were talking about, Steve, figuring so prominently in the game plan. They flanked him out today, and he continues to catch the ball. 6 catches for 94 yards.
Well, it's been a problem the last few weeks in Denver. They've been trying to find a guy to replace Ed McCaffrey, who they lost on opening day. Well, forget it. Maybe it's not going to be one of your wide receivers. Let's use Desmond Clark and see if we can let him fill the void, and he's done that today.
Still a lot of time left. Griese patiently setting his team, looking to run clock with the running play on 1st down. But the Patriots stuff it. They brought everybody up. Boy, their defensive call was strictly play the run. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS is back with a doubleheader. First, the Ravens take on the Steelers, and in Game 2, the Browns visit the Bears. That's now a 4:15 start, a doubleheader game on CBS. Check local listings beginning with Jim, Jerry, Randy, Mike, Marcus, Leslie, and Dion on the NFL today. For more, go to NFL.com. The official source for all your NFL information, AOL keyword NFL.com. The Bears. People, was a countdown going on in Chicago among many on when coach would be fired, Dick Duran. Now he's got a shot at being coach of the year, the way they're playing. And Griese gets his own tip ball, and quickly he goes to the ground at the 30-yard line.
Brandon Mitchell jumped up, and Griese threw it right at him. And alertly, or actually not too alertly, he should have batted it to the ground.
Brandon really turned the game last week when he blocked the first kick of the game by the Colts.
See, this is just reflexes. Brian Griese, if he had to do over again, he would know better. The best thing to do is just bat it down as an incomplete pass, but instead it's a 6-yard loss.
But he does complete one to himself.
Your statistical wizard there, Don, gets the completion and the reception.
But now 3rd and long comes up. 6 different players catching balls. Griese stands in. He's going deep. And a nice breakup. The ball is broken up by Otis Smith. Long ball to Eddie Kinnison. I mean, the ball was right there, but so was Otis Smith.
And this is exactly what the Patriots needed, a defensive stand. They've got the ball back. Denver's going to be forced to punt. Otis Smith, I'm sorry, just perfect coverage down the sideline. Eddie Kinnison had no chance on that catch.
Teams have burned a lot of timeouts early in this game, in this half. And now Denver is signaling a timeout before they punt the ball, which is unusual on 4th and 16.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper makes the world taste better. And by Burger King, home of the Whopper.
24-20. The Broncos lead, but they're now ready to punt the ball. Tonight on 60 Minutes, did Saddam Hussein have a hand in the terror attack on the United States? Leslie Stahl reports from Iraq. That's tonight on 60 Minutes, followed by Oscar and Richard Dreyfuss in the new hit series, The Education of Max Bickford. Then a magical wedding dress passes through the lives of 5 different couples. Hein Daly stars in the CBS Sunday movie, The Wedding Dress, all tonight on CBS. Now Tom Ruin ready to boom the ball. He can kick it far. Troy Brown back to return the punt. Line drive kick. Patriots will return this. Brown backpedaling to his 17. Weaving ahead, Bill Belichick says nobody has better special teams than the Broncos, and they show it there. You were a specialist, Steve, going to 7 Pro Bowls for the Bills. A lot of it coming on kick coverage. What's the key to getting them in fast?
Desire. I mean, that's all there is to it. You got to just stay on your feet. Don't get knocked off your feet and run like your life depends on it.
There was a 54-yard punt and a 6-yard return. So now the young quarterback, Tom Brady, 24 years old, starting just his 5th game as a Patriot since Drew Bledsoe was hurt. The pressure's on. The Bronco defense has really risen up as this game wears on. Brady, play fakes, makes the throw. It's blocked at the line of scrimmage. 97, Keith Washington. Chester McLaughlin also with a hand up.
And this is a crucial drive for the Patriots, Don. Now's when Brady's going to have to step up and be a great quarterback, not just a backup who's playing well. So they need him on this drive to take them down and get some points out of it, give them a chance to win. They're running out of time here in the 4th quarter with 10.5 minutes to go.
2nd down and 10. Pitch back. Running hard and getting across the 30-yard line before a good open field tackle. Antoine Smith gains about 7 yards on the play.
You think about this as Antoine Smith gets up limping. There's the guy who's been through it. I mean, he's a guy. Now, he's calling the plays into Brady. And you think, too, when you call him and say, hey, Tom, look at this on this snap. Do this on this snap. He can give him a few extra pointers while he's on the radio with him. And that's an interesting way to do it. I mean, having the star player be the guy to talk to your backup who's playing well.
He has thrown the ball now 30 times, completed 22 for 170 yards, but they've considerably shut down his passing yardage in the 2nd half. As George Coghill, number 48, shaken up, but George is all right and should be ready to go after one play away from the action. Ball position just across the 30.
It's 3rd and 2, and this is crucial. I mean, they've got to stay on the field. They can't let themselves be put in the position to have to give the ball back to Brian Griese and the Broncos. They've got to get some points on this drive, or something special has to happen later.
Kevin Falk is in to run the ball behind Mark Edwards. Snap. Penalty markers down all over. Throwing a catch to Edwards. He advances the ball to the 34-yard line. If the play went, it would be enough for a 1st down, but the flags were down right at the snap.
Well, Mark Edwards made the mistake on it. He made the catch, but it was his mistake.
Moving forward. Legal motion.
Yeah, they had there was a man in motion across the formation, and only one guy can do that at a time, and Mark Edwards stood up to do it as well.
Shift, 2 men moving, not resetting, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
You just can't do that. And what happens is the player comes across in motion. You see this all the time. Watch Mark Edwards. He'll twitch and start to move there, and that's illegal. You can't have 2 guys moving at the same time, or the receiver has to stop as well and stop again and then restart.
That makes it a 3rd down and 7 play. Brady with 3 wide receivers. Here comes the rush. Brady looks, makes the throw. It's caught for a 1st down. Troy Brown is not done till he gets out to the 42-yard line. So they needed 7, and they end up getting 16 on another terrific play by the young quarterback.
What a great route by Brown. He comes in, you watch him run in and then back out at the top. Great play and great patience by Brady, waiting for him to come open. Good time by the offensive line. This is why the Patriots have been successful in the last month. Brady, not only has he thrown the ball accurately, he's had time to see the defense.
So the clock thickens, the pressure builds, and Brady and the Patriots have a first down. Give to Falk, protecting the ball with both arms. Broncos give up yardage grudgingly straight ahead. Mobley with the tackle. And a gain of about 3 yards on the play. Second down and 7.
Now, it's interesting. We saw Antoine Smith come out of off the field a little while ago limping badly. Now the guy in there is Kevin Falk in a crucial drive in the fourth quarter. You always want to have your best guys in there, but New England rotates their guys more than anybody, so Falk is going to be prepared for this drive.
Troy Brown, who caught that last one, who said, Steve, in that San Diego game after it was over, that nobody would believe we couldn't win after the way Brady led us in the huddle, as they came back from 10 points down with just over 5 minutes to play to win 29-26.
When you step into the huddle in the NFL, Don, they always say stuff about having a presence in the huddle, and it really all comes down to how you perceive your quarterback to feel, how confident he is and whether he knows what he's doing. Some guys, you step in there and they can say 3 words and you know they've got it. Other guys could talk all day and you never believe it.
Yeah, well, we got to see what he can do with his arm and what the Bronco defense can do. They've been coming hard at front 4, generating pressure straight up the middle. Here's a blitz picked up. Brady looks, makes a throw. Open man, but it's overshot and intercepted by Delta O'Neal. How prophetic the words of Belichick, who told us yesterday, if you throw it near O'Neal, there's a very good chance he's going to grab it, and he did. For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS and the game between the New England Patriots and the Denver Broncos. I'm Don Criqui along with Steve Tasker. Our score is 24-20. The Broncos in the lead. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast. So Brady picked off for a second time in this game, and for the second straight possession he's picked off over the previous one in the end zone. Delta O'Neal picked off Trent Green of the Kansas City Chiefs this season 4 times in one game. Now the Broncos will try to run the ball and the clock. Not much on first down as Olandis Gary carries. We're coming to Invesco Field at Mile High. A dramatic game under a full moon in the Mile High City, as the Denver Broncos were down 10-0. Later they were down 20-10. They've rallied to take a 24-20 lead. Now, after intercepting the previously unintercepted quarterback for the Patriots, Tom Brady, twice, they look to run clock in the ball. Brian Greasy under the run. He makes the throw, and a tremendous fingertip catch by Carswell. And he's out across the 30-yard line. And he has a first down for the Broncos. Knocked out of bounds by Otis Smith.
Well, this has been a game in which Denver has done everything they've needed to do offensively, and the defense has overcome all the problems they've caused themselves. Here you see Greasy finding one more guy. He's hit just about everybody who was eligible today. They're buying himself a little time, and that's the kind of thing that has given him problems with his shoulder, Don. Late in ball games, he's taken some heat and some hits that have hurt.
All the guys that the Patriots are bringing up, they're looking to play run. Run it is. Trying to turn wide, then cutting back. Olandis Gary, he's got nothing but the white-shirted Patriots to sweep him under, led by the cornerback Otis Smith. Still, the clock continues to run. The Patriots dilemma compounded by the fact they have no more timeouts remaining.
That's right, and there you see Tom Brady, who was victimized by Delta O'Neal. He threw the ball up on the big corner route, and you see there he was 0 for interceptions on his first 163 attempts, and now he's got 2 in his last 3. And you know, we spoke with him yesterday, and you get the feeling it's not going to bother him. He's going to bounce back very well.
But Greasy right now engineering his team very nicely with a second down and 10 play coming. They go to a reverse, and they get an open channel. A first down and more as the ball is handed off running around near side, and Eddie Kinnison is ahead for a gain of 12 yards and a first down.
Well, this is what the Broncos need. Just get first downs, run the clock, use their field position to their advantage. The fact that the Patriots can't stop the clock, all Denver has to do is stay on the football field offensively, and they win this football game. Great play call by Mike Shanahan, keeping the ball on the ground and yet doing something a little bit daring.
Both these teams 3-3, but very different 3-3s. The Broncos with the ball have lost 3 of their last 4. The Patriots have won 3 of their last 4. Greasy takes a look, pump fakes, here comes the rush. McGinnis gets him a sack back inside the 30. A phenomenal play by Willie McGinnis, who's had back surgeries and injury problems, but his coaches say this defense works when McGinnis is in there.
And that's a huge play for about a 12-yard loss for the Broncos, and that could be the thing that makes it possible for the Patriots to get the football back. You're right, Don. McGinnis has really struggled the last couple of years with injuries, but when he's healthy, Don, he can bring the heat on the quarterback.
Well, he has 2 sacks today, Willie McGinnis. Former #1 pick out of Southern California back in '94. Second down and 22. Greasy goes to the run. They're playing a position football. They'll punt the ball back to the Patriots and bet on their defense if they can stop them from taking it into the end zone.
Denver has 2 timeouts left if it comes to that, but the Patriots have none. And on a 3rd and 20, Denver, I think, is just making sure that they don't give up a turnover, try and get some positive yards, and now they're thinking field position.
Belichick was talking about Del O'Neill. He said, you throw near him, he's going to pick it off. And he just got the last one that Brady threw. 3rd down, 19. Greasy's going to take one big shot over the top. Here's the rush again. There's a throw and a connection. And is it a first down? It is not. He is just short of it as the ball's advanced to the 49-yard line. Scotty Montgomery, who was just activated, makes a big play.
Watch it. This is a good play call for this situation. It's a safe throw, but you give your guy a chance to make a run for the first down. You don't risk a long throw, an interception, or an incompletion either, because now the clock continues to run, and the clock is the ally of the Broncos.
Well, 18 yards they gained on the pass play to Bucky Jones, making the hit that stopped it a yard short of the first down. They needed 19. Troy Brown is back. Tom Ruin to punt. Good directional punter. He angles it near sideline. The ball will carry him into the hands, actually. Didn't go out of bounds. Fielded by Troy Brown at the 17-yard line. Penalty marker is down on the field. A couple of them are down. It's a 33-yard punt. No return. Personal foul. Signaled against the Patriots. So a bad situation gets worse for Coach Belichick.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 58. Return team, half the distance to the goal. First down.
Matt Chatham, a special teams player, called for unnecessary roughness.
You can see that. Belichick says, you're not going to walk away. Wait, I want to yell at you just once more. There's no excuse for that, Don. Not at this point in the game. You need a touchdown to win, and you just cost your team a first down with a silly penalty.
Well, they get the ball, but they'll get it inside their 10-yard line. So this is the stuff that legends are made of. But will it be snuffed out as the quarterback, Tom Brady, has his team positioned 92 yards from the Bronco end zone? The worst starting point of any possession this day for the Patriots.
And no timeouts.
That's right, no timeouts. And no help from the Bronco fans, who are really lighting it up with the noise. Brady lets her go long, sprinting after the ball, and incomplete. Charles Johnson going for the ball. Double coverage. Hey, these guys can really run these corners. Tonight on 60 Minutes, did Saddam Hussein have a hand in the terror attack on the United States? Leslie Stahl reports from Saddam's Iraq. That's tonight on 60 Minutes, followed by Oscar winner Richard Dreyfuss in the new hit series, The Education of Max Bickford. Then a magical wedding dress passing through the lives of 5 different couples in the CBS Sunday movie, The Wedding Dress, tonight on CBS. 2nd and 10, near side throw, Patton with the catch. Short of the first down by a couple of yards. Ball positioned at the 17-yard line. Jimmy Spencer on the tackle.
And you wonder right now if Tom Brady is going to be able to do his best John Elway imitation here in Denver. With no timeouts, 3.5 minutes to go in the game, and he needs a touchdown.
Pitch back. Antoine Smith turns it up. He gets a first down for the Patriots out to the 22-yard line. Bert Berry makes the stop.
Well, this is a guy that brought this club, the Denver Broncos, back more in the fourth quarter to win games than any player in NFL history. Tom Brady, just at the very beginning of his career, has a chance to begin that streak.
But he does not have the mobility that John Elway has, so he's not a running threat, but he can sure gun it as he triggers another strike down into the hands of David Patton. Kenoy Kennedy quickly there. Drew Bledsoe. And Tom Brady, they talk about a quarterback controversy, but these two guys and 3 others of their teammates went to the Yankee playoff game. They drove down after practice a week ago, last Monday night. They're very good friends. Right now, Brady needs all the help he can get. Throwing a pick. It's going to be run back. Denard Walker with the knockout punch. It's over. As Brady, going so long without interceptions, now throws 3 in his last 3 possessions. The defenders rise up for the Broncos. Now the extra point by Elam is booted up and through.
You have to wonder on that last throw what Tom Brady was thinking, because it was obviously not what his receiver was thinking. Watch as he runs out. He's going to throw this to his left. He throws this way towards the sideline. The receiver hooks up. He expected the receiver to continue to the sideline, and the receiver hooked up.
That was timing throw. He was throwing to a spot, and the receiver went the other way.
That's exactly right.
I'd be surprised if after they look at the game films that Brady's at fault on that throw.
Yeah, somebody was at fault, whether it was Brady or not. I always tend to say it was probably the receiver's fault. And as he walks off the field, there's a guy who's been through it too, Drew Bledsoe. He knows what it's like to throw a pick. You got to bounce back, and I think they're going to. I mean, this is a team that's played very well today in a hostile environment against a good football team, although Denver has struggled lately. Let's face it, they're an organization that does everything right.
They do, and as Bob Kraft said, people are already speculating what will they do with Bledsoe or Brady when they both come back. He said, hey, you can't never have enough good quarterbacks. We feel we have a quarterback bonanza.
I'll tell you what, though, Don, I think some organization is going to make the Patriots an offer they can't refuse for Tom Brady. This is a guy that some people want on their team, and they're going to go out and pay big money to get him.
You got to pay with players. And I don't think they're going to trade him under any circumstances. Here's a kick return by Falk. Kevin Falk gets it out to the 30-yard line. Next week for the Patriots, they're at Atlanta. Schedule gets tougher for the Broncos. They'll head to Oakland for their next game.
Look what happened in the first half, 13 of 16. In the second half, 12 of 20. The 3 interceptions are what he's going to remember. Still, Don, he's played very well.
Well, his overall numbers are 25 of 36 for 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions.
And you got to think, too, the Patriots know, look over there, number 11 is for the first time suited up again after his injury.
It was good to see Bledsoe out throwing before the game, getting over that very severe injury. Throw downfield and almost picked again. As they got everybody back and playing deep center field against a long passing game. Patriots need 2 touchdowns and not much time to get them.
Now, this is a stadium where there's a lot of historical baggage that they brought with them from about 400 yards away in Mile High. They're starting to build their own history here as their Pat Bowlen, their president and CEO, looks on.
Pat Bowlen has owned the team now for 17 years. Great success story, 2 Super Bowl championships. At one point today, Tom Brady was 21 of 24 throwing the ball. Since then, he is 4 of 13 with 3 interceptions. Now on the stretch run in Denver, the Broncos are taking command. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. The Broncos outscoring the New England Patriots 21-0 down the stretch run of this game.
Yeah, and there's going to be bigger and better days for Tom Brady. He's played well today, but in trying to win the game, as you see there, sometimes it doesn't work. You try to do too much, and it costs you.
Well, you can't say enough about the way the Broncos have come back, and this is a team under pressure. So the expectations are so high in this area for this team because of the success record. And you lose 2 games in a row in the division, the first time they've done that in 6 years, and it's like the sky is falling in. But last year they went on to win 8 of their last 9 to go 11-5 and make the playoffs, and they're ready to go on a run again. Starting with this, Brady gets time, triggers the ball right to the wrong guy. It's all come a cropper at this point as the ball is picked off by Delta O'Neal. He takes it down to the 5-yard line. Last 4 possessions for the Patriots, 4 interceptions. Tonight on 60 Minutes, did Saddam Hussein have a hand in the terror attack on the United States? Leslie Stahl reports from Saddam's Iraq. That's tonight on 60 Minutes. So with this game today, the Broncos will go back in the win column after this recent sinking spell. They've lost 3 of their last 4. But Brady, anybody who knows him will tell you this is not a guy that's going to go back and cry over spilt milk and bad luck. He's going to come back with a vengeance next week at Atlanta.
Yeah, he's made some throws now. The game is almost at hand. It looks like the Denver Broncos are going to win it. He's just trying everything he can, throwing the ball out. He's not thinking about his throws like he did early on. And, obviously it gets to that point in a game like this. And, you start to make the wrong decisions.
The executive producers of the NFL on CBS are Sean McManus and Terry Ewert. Coordinating director is Larry Cavallina. Today's game was produced by Jim Rickoff and directed by Kathy Barretto. Senior producer of the NFL Today is Eric Mann and is directed by Bob Mattina. Coordinating producer of CBS Sports is Harold Bryant. The associate director of today's game was Sean Gerchikoff. The broadcast associate, Jason Ross. The technical manager, Dan Barron, and we thank them all. The men and women of CBS Sports bringing you NFL football on a day when Mike Shanahan and his Broncos looked to be in deep trouble, and they were. But in Shanahan's style, Pat Bowlen sees his Broncos rally back and score a huge win.
These two teams came into this game 3-3 each, but the Patriots came in playing on a high note. They've won 3 of their last 4. They're on an uptick. The Broncos come in, and it's almost comical. It's like they're trying to salvage an entire season when they're really as good as anybody else in the league.
Thanks to our CBS statistician Joe Sullivan, as Mike Shanahan, with reason to smile. He was a concerned guy yesterday when we met with him in his office. And now they come back, and maybe the Broncos are going to go another of their runs to the playoff. Now for Steve Tasker, I'm Don Criqui saying so long from Invesco Field at Mile High, where the final score is Denver 31, New England 20. Coming up next on CBS is 60 Minutes, except on the West Coast. That's followed by The Education of Max Bickford. And then it's the CBS Sunday movie, The Wedding Dress. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Glad you could be with us.